first time.
Hello and welcome to the first 2024 presidential debate, hosted by CNN.
Holy fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
I am Jake Tapper, and somewhere around here is my colleague, Dana Bash. I'd like to set the ground rules to this debate. First off, Biden is allowed to speak whenever he wishes. We will have commercial breaks whenever Biden feels the urge so that his needs can be taken care of. This may or may not include naps, energy boosts, or a snack such as ice cream. On the other hand, Trump is not allowed to speak unless spoken to, and if he interrupts Joe speaking, we're automatically going to deduct 10 points from Trump and Dorr.
World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow, this fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
As the hall moderator of this debate, I can call it off at any moment and declare it a complete victory for Biden. Where did Trump go? He was just here.
Fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow, this fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow, this fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Holy fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow, this fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Holy fucking shit, this fucking timeline is lit all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner. Holy fucking cow, this fucking timeline is all over. It's over. World's biggest Alex Joner.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
What is up, world champions? Welcome to the debate party. It's going to be a wild one here from 7 till 9 p.m. We're going to be live. We're going to have some call-ins. I'm just realizing I think I might have forgot to set up my Zoom calls, but maybe we'll do that at the 8 o'clock hour break. Hello. Hello. It's a bright and sunny something in some place, and I'm some person, and you're here with me to watch this travesty that is maybe going to unfold here in just under 2 hours on the auspicious whatever CNN stands for. Cunt News Network. Oops, there goes the brand. There goes the money and sponsorships. There goes the worldwide fame. Welcome, world champions. Hard M's in the chat. Say hello. I think we're going to have some new people. I'll fill you in on the stream details as you're noticing right now. You can send emojis. Anyone can. Up to 10 at a time. They will fly across the screen. We might disable that when it comes to the actual debate. Haven't made up my mind yet. We are live on 4 platforms right now. The X chat or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Testy McTesterson. It's working. YouTube, Rumble, Pilled, and X. You will see what platform you're on over there on the left. Welcome. If your name is green with the yellow badge, you've been a channel member for up to 6 months. If you've got the white badge, you're now at 6 months. Congratulations. Congratulations. What's going on? Moonchild, hello. Disco Daphne over on Pilled, holding it down. Welcome. Crusty Whitebread, Markets and Moto, welcome back. Welcome back. All of your sexual fantasies involve hard M's. Ken Gilmore's feeling a little Tulsi Gabbard in the house for VP. That's one of our things we have to talk about today as we're killing time here up until 9 o'clock. Up until 9 o'clock. Somewhere here. Oh, that's the 3CC. That's us. That's us. What's going on? Hello. Welcome. We got a debate party, the game set up. I've got quantities ready to go for you. In human anthropic form. My camera's not aimed where I want it to be. Not a huge deal. What do we got to come right? We got to come left. We got to come right. We're going right. Even worse. Left. Much better. Right in the middle of the circle. And quickly, thank you, Circle Jerk 3CC. Looking forward to watching Biden freak out when the acid and Adderall all hits at once. It's going to be a good time. Quickly, we're not going to start this game until the debate, but the basic rules are as followed. It's sort of like bingo, but everybody was doing debate bingo. And then some other enterprising individuals did some debate drinking games. And me at the cutting edge of influencing and content, at the very cutting edge of all of that, decided to combine the two in ways you wouldn't have thought of as a normal individual. And normal, regular creators wouldn't have thought of. It's a drinking bingo game, sort of. If you've played a game on the John Ward channel before, you know it's kind of like Whose Line. There are no rules. The rules are made up and the points don't mean anything. So here we go. Top row. You do a sip. It's 1 Shapiro's worth. I've put the quantities in there. 1 Shapiro's worth. If any of those 5 across the top row go down. Trump gets muted. Biden just survives. He makes it till the end of the 90 minutes, still alive. I think that's drink worthy. Lord of the Ree over on Rumble. What's up, faggots? Who's ready to watch Biden shit himself while Trump makes jokes about his mother when the mic is off? You're cultivating some hard M energy from a surprising source. And that source might be cocaine. 1 sip, 1 Shapiro's worth of whatever poison to which you subscribe. Today, my poison is Macallan Highland Single Malt Scotch Whiskey. I wanted to get every word right there. You know I believe in Mo Juice. 12 years aged. It's a classy one. I figured if I spent some money on it, I'd be forced to make it last. We are drinking that out of the Trump Shamrock Cup. No ice, no water. And then, of course, totally by accident, I'm realizing, but we've got the Samuel Gawith Celtic Snuff. We're going to Charles Dickens here for energy. And we're going to William Wallace for anger. Number 2 is a sip. That's just 2 Shapiro's worth. Trump speaks uninterrupted for 30 seconds. Conversely, Biden stutters. The debate feels boring. Jake Tapper wears thick-rimmed glasses. Dana Bash begins to look attractive. You have a sip. You have 2 Shapiro's worth of whatever poison to which you subscribe. Number 3, a shot or 1 Affleck's worth or 3 1/3 Shapiro's worths. Trump starts the Fourth Reich. You begin to doubt the survival of the human species. You finally understand Plato's Republic and the allegory of the cave. You finally begin to understand the act of self-immolation. Dana Bash comes out as trans. Number 4, chug, 1 Lizzo's worth. That is equal to 3 Affleck's worths or 10 Shapiro's worths. Biden shits himself, not a typo. Number 2, Biden shits himself. Technical difficulties, they just killed the stream on that 2-minute delay. We're going to talk about all of that. Hilarious. Jake Tapper shits himself or Dana Bash shits zerself. Step 5, Deus Vault is 1 Timberlake's worth. That is the equivalent of 20 Lizzo's worths, plus some small writing. I'm doing my best. 2 pounds of Walter White plus 2 dozen Hunter Bidens. If any of the 5 following things happen, you must just Deus Vault. Tupac comes back from the dead and he's straight. Number 2, Biden has a medical emergency. Number 3, Kim Jong-un crashes through the ceiling riding a dragon. Number 4, CNN is hit by a meteor. Little overlap between 3 and 4. Number 5, Dana Bash neighs. She neighs like a horse. She says, I want my voice to match my face. You must then Deus Vault. Sip, sip. 1 Shapiro's worth, 2 Shapiro's worth, 3 Shapiro's worth. We're now at an Affleck, in Affleck's worth. Right? Single word is a portmanteau of Affleck and worth, if you didn't catch that. We got the Lizzo's worth. We dropped the worths on the Deus Vault. That's just a Timberlake at that point. Timberlake, as you seize any and all poisons around you in whatever quantities they happen to be pre-existing in your presence, and you consume them. And damn it, man, if we do this right, this is going to be a fun time. My name is John Ward. Allegedly. I may or may not be real. Welcome to the 7 to 9 p.m. ET. Looking at you, Serb. ET Eastern Time. Little time slot here. I'm going to bust out the guild in a little bit and see if any of the delegates are home. That would be our 3CC delegates, these yellow states. I know Zeb is calling in for sure. Akintors. If Lizzo hits CNN, does that count as a meteor? We might need to add, this is open in Photoshop. I can adjust this graphic on the fly. I'm very talented. Have lots of Photoshop abilities. They own it. They own whatever we make. All right, let's get that clear. But we can and will do it. thirdcontinentalcongress.org. .org. Check out our delegate list if you're a writer. I always thought, what am I doing? I'm clicking in OBS. That's not real life. I got to be in the internet. Zeb, this guy, Small Town Touchgrass podcast. It's awesome. I highly recommend you check it out. If you want to get yourself a pair, this is going to be tough because I'm not flexible. I've got them. The PF Flyers. I'm ready to pickle the beast. This one has the 3CC logo. There he is. He's in the house. Zeb, thank you. 5 new world champions freshly minted. Let me finish this thought because I'm only able to have one at a time. thirdcontinentalcongress.org. We got our resident in-house madman artist. He's been putting out stuff, new stuff all the time. The Hard M mug. Got me one of those. Very nice. Very nice. I might bust out the hoodie later on in the show. We'll see. I highly recommend you check it out. This all supports Dodger's work and the show. There were the shoes. There they went. Oh, he's making shoes. He's cobbling. Dodger is cobbling. We got to be careful. Let me get Gilded up and running here. See what kind of madmen we have in there. I suppose I might as well boot up Zoom. We got my live stream, CNN pirate stream ready to go. I guess we should talk about that for just a quick second. Just a quick one. And I'm going to take a brief moment to check our dropped frames. Always a problem. Seems to be intermittent, though. YouTube has made it, CNN has made it clear. Is John Ward, Stephen Nizik, is John Ward doing this debate live O'Reilly style? Thank you, Steven. Yeah, we're going to do it live. We'll do it live. I tried to turn away from the microphone. I may or may not have a limiter set up. I'm not sure. Too many things happening now, trying to open Gilded and talk about this. So, yes, let's see if CNN has their live stream scheduled yet, number one. That's worth checking. What's this? No, that's not it. Not it. Oh, that's PBS. There it is. There it is. My thumbnail, way better. Way better. In fact, if you look at this thumbnail and my thumbnail side by side, you'll notice how much better mine is. Jack T, good evening, world champions. Thank you, Jack T. Thank you. I'm getting Gilded open. I wasn't lying. I wasn't lying. All right, so now we got to get Zoom booted up. And we'll get that. Man, I almost grabbed the bottle instead of the glass. That was risky. That was risky. We'll get a little jungle music going in the background here for you. And I'm going to throw the chat up. And while we do that, I'm going to get all my call-in stuff booted up. We got some food coming. We got sliders coming. It's going to be delicious. Probably should have got the sliders ready before I started drinking scotch. It is what it is. If you've been a world champion for the past 10 years or so, you know how some of these unannounced streams can get. You know how it can go down. It's nobody's fault. That's not true. That's not true. It's mine. Show the drinking game one more time, please. Full screen so I can screenshot it. All right, Sublime and Slime. There you are. Screenshot away. In fact, I encourage you to send this to everybody else that just did the debate bingo crap. Not on our level. Not on our level. Look what I did for you, okay? I did all this, number one. 25 different typings. These have an outer glow on them because I didn't feel like sizing them to this white grid. So I was like, well, I want to see the words. I'm just going to outer glow those in Photoshop. But here's what I'm really proud of. These units are consistent. I don't know if you noticed that one Affleck's worth is 3 1/3 Shapiro's worth. And if you take 3 of those, there's Circle's weekly donation to Linda's Thirst Dungeon. It's now a dungeon. It's no longer a trap. But I was pretty proud of myself. I even had 3 eyes in there. Maybe that's 4 eyes. All right, so I'm backwardly inventing effort. I didn't really put in. I do that a lot. New meeting. New meeting in Zoom. And we're going to get some call-ins from our absolutely insane 3cc delegates. 3C. I was 2 minutes late till starting. I know that. We're 22 minutes down already. Let me throw the chat back up. If you're just joining, also if you're new, based on these numbers, a lot of you are, which is awesome. But you get up to 10 emojis, whether you're a member or not, does not matter. Does not matter what platform you're using, Pilled, X, Rumble, or YouTube. 10 of them will fly across the screen, as you're noticing right now. Channel members on YouTube, names are in green. Welcome. I'm going to highlight. I can also highlight your chats here, but your super chats will be automatically highlighted. All right. All right, Zoom. We're good. So now, you know what I'm realizing? It's going to be black. There we go. There we go. All right, Zeb, look at that. I even got your name ready to go. Let me slightly size you up. Ooh. There we go. Ooh, not enough. All right. Something like that. I think that's perfect. I think that might be the most perfectly sized Zoom call I've ever seen. Let me say hello quickly. 3-phase, 50 weight. Oh, man, what a one to pick. Welcome. Boomer approved. Crown Apple is good over on Rumble. Welcome, Boomer approved. Jerry Singleton, welcome back. Sun Tea with Peach. That sounds pretty good. 7 years sober. I respect it. The High Conservative over on Twitter. Let's fucking go. Indeed. Crusty White Bread is hard emming with his custom emojis. Amanda. You need some vowels in there. Don't need to justify. Oh, look at that. The little reply names are finally working and everything. Just in time. Just in time. Incredible. All right, let me get over to Gilded. And let me see what Zeb's up to. And let's do that. All right, we might be doing Zeb 8 till 9. Let me say hello to the chat again here one more time. Hey, John, Charities Bazaar, welcome. Anon Immis, welcome back. Jerry2984, oh, it's going fast. Jackie Burner, welcome. How do you get a link to that bingo card? I guess I could like export it really quick as a PNG and post it somewhere. Angriest Ginger, there he is. Welcome, Rusty Shackelford, a.k.a. McAfee. Welcome, Pocket Acorns ready. Let's go, boys. Colin Lothrop, Static Sky TV, Matthew Vortis, all of you, welcome. Atheist7, Casey Whalen, welcome. Cairo, welcome. Dragos, Drowned Deer, Lord of the Ree, I saw you earlier, welcome. One of our regulars over on Rumble. All invite home, welcome back, fuck yeah. 204 Shoes, Suzanne, I think you were the first comment. I was making a mental note to say hello. You're bouncing all over the different platforms. I respect it. And yes, we all know it's Susan G. It's Susan G. It's Suzanne. Jacqueline Ellis. Oh my God, it's the John Ward. You have been the icing on the cake of so many of your days. I am happy to have iced your cake days. You are welcome, Jacqueline. Thank you. Gerg C. Tried to catch me with the Greg. I'm too quick for it. Thank you for your donation. Oh, that's the auto response. Thank you, Gerg. And welcome. We have an Orange Cat good spotting. Let's get him up here. Let's get him some scotch, maybe. OCG, I'm surprised he's up here with me talking that much. I saw a couple flew by really quick. Daniel Collins, Me More Veterans. Are you ready for another round? Let's let OCG settle in quickly. I know I missed one there. Right there. Who was that? For Us Foodies. How low do you think the standard has to be for them to say Biden is one? Pretty fucking low, honestly. And then Me More Veterans. I caught you. Okay, good deal. Good deal. Matt Barnes. Hey, John, having trouble with Gilded, but if I can figure it out, count me in as your Vermont delegate. It's honestly probably not you. He's referring to joining the Third Continental Congress. We have a lot of things going on lately. I've been very busy. Let me get back to the homepage here. Hi, buddy. I know. You're a kid. You're a kitty. I would love to have you. I'd love to add you to the map. I've been working on getting this studio set up. And that's great. And we're in the process. So we have something like 1 to 2 months left to go, depending on how Code wants to work with us and some other things go down. But I owe a lot of people responses in the Gilded. Also, you don't need to spend a lot of effort joining because we may be dropping Gilded as they got bought out. We're always in the pursuit of operational security, they call it, OPSEC. And so we may be setting up an IRC. I'm biting right now. We may be setting up an IRC chat. Should I have a sip? Did I just... oh, it's a sip. It's 2 Shapiro's worth, everybody. It's 2 Shapiro's worth. All right. We got Orange Cat good, kind of surprisingly. I must be talking somewhat quietly, or he's just very bored today. And maybe Black Cat Matters will show up. I don't know that we've had him on a live stream before. Not sure what he's up to. We're going to be eating some delicious gourmet homemade sliders later, maybe after the 8 o'clock break. I think at the 8 o'clock break is when I'm going to get Zeb called in here. Bit of a haphazard start with all this scotch and snuff and stuff like that. And, you know, setting up this incredible debate party game. Tell your friends, tell them to come on in. It is so much better than anybody else's game. If you press both buttons on the side of your phone, it'll screenshot it, you boomers. You boomers! You can screenshot on your phones if you want to follow along. Again, you don't actually, like Orange Cat Good, you don't actually, there's fucking fuzz everywhere. You don't actually have to play this game because if you do, you may die. You might die. Is that a little Rickroll? What platform was that from? Sublime and Slime over on Rumble. You can Rickroll. I respect it. You're going to be blasted 15 minutes in, says Mockler. Hey, Mockler, you know what you need to worry about? Is creating a save state for that Factions game. You goddamn nerd. Mockler has whipped up this he's literally just pulled a Python program out of his ass for Factions. It's actually really cool. But because of the way we play Factions, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's old live streams. They're called Factions. We do a lot of games. We gamify this clown world in order to keep ourselves from eating the business end of a shotgun. We got to make a game out of it. Which is awesome, because on being on the slightly less retarded end of the spectrum, but also being extremely on the end of totally out of control madman, I'm at this weird. So we get people like Mockler, who's like, hey, retard. His words, not mine. Hey, retard. Let me just code you up a real version instead of you doing this in Photoshop with locked layers that you didn't even do the first time. You didn't even lock the layers the first time. John Ward. So Mockler is, yeah, he's laughing it off. We have a great culture on this channel. We all mercilessly make fun of each other. We Mockler each other, if you will. But all joking aside, that dude is very smart. I would not mess with Mockler. He'll probably have your address in like 30 seconds. So we're going to maybe even make some sort of app out of it in some way. Right, but he's the kind of guy, when he sent me the sample program, it says game by John Ward and then programming or something by Mockler. I'm just like, God, you goddamn autist. Giving credit where credit is not even really due. I respect it, but thank you, Mockler, and welcome back. I think I know most of the names I've seen before. Spearhand, welcome back. David Smith, welcome back. Coop Cooper, welcome back. Patrick Miller, welcome back. I will try to call you out if I see you. It's a little easier to see you with the supers, but you don't have to do that. I just want to let you know. I'm getting a little better at producing and entertaining and hitting buttons and super chatting all at the same time. We have 665 people on YouTube. That's it. That's our limit. Nobody else join. Wow, that went quick. We got to slow down. We got to slow down. This Macallan 12 years like a Macallan 4 minutes right now. I'm a little worried about entering unannounced live stream territory from back in the pre-2020s. Hi, John, says Adam Awesome. Welcome, Adam Awesome. Everyone refill. Sister Girl, welcome, Mr. Smith 118. I see you there. Welcome back. Von Saltinator, welcome back. Welcome back. Oh, I know a lot of you don't even know I've been making videos again, mostly live streaming. Oh, that reminds me, the Deacon Mojack will be coming back relatively soon, maybe even right as we open up the new studio, which would be awesome. But, again, if you're just joining us, that is the incorrect button. What did I do? I opened up Zoom on the wrong one. There I am. Oh, well, I should probably check Gilded here. Oh, he's ready. Zeb is ready. Squirrely Girl, Alabama needs a delegate, and you are the one for the job. We would love to have you. Are you not a delegate already? All right. Yeah, we'll get you in there. Alabama. All right. Incredible. We need it. We need it. Zeb said he's ready to go, so we can give that a shot. Why not? Why not? So that would be, oh man, so many buttons. Right there. That looks good. I'm happy with that. Johnny Boca, thank you. No comment there, but thank you over on YouTube. What do I need to do here, Zeb? I need to send you the invite link. He's pouring a drink. All right, this will be fun. Come on down. Oh, let me make sure I don't double audio, Zeb, here. Ooh, that is what I want. I should trust my settings. We'll give Zeb a little bit to get called in. He's drinking a little bit, it sounds like. I think you know by now, Zeb, that I don't care enough, like a real show wouldn't let you join and have your audio be hot and you just start talking, but yours will be. But you probably know it, so come on down. Quickly, let me say what's up to the chat. Rodog, Louis Zales, welcome. Michael Tillman, welcome. M2D2, I like it, welcome. It's a healthy chat today. I respect it. When did I say? Oh, that's 10 minutes apart. He might have gone off and started drinking. If you're out there, Zeb, I sent you the invite link in Gilded. This we're going to have to save till 9. Grab your screenshots if you want to have a board. Oh, there he is. Perfect. Oh, classy looking. Hold on. Can you hear me okay, Zeb?
Yes, can you hear me? Let me pause YouTube.
Is the FBI raiding you right now? You're looking around very furtively.
I was trying to find your YouTube because you were echoing. So you can hear me?
I can hear you fine. I think the echo I've got is just your on your end, just the room acoustics.
Right, I just had YouTube in the background.
Let me throw up the chat real quick and make sure everybody hears Zeb okay before we just let it rip. And by that I mean you hear his voice and not two of them. And let me leave this up for a second. Give me a 5x5 because I don't have a producer, so you're my producers. We got a comment here for you, though. Lord of the Ree. Touchgrass has some great music in it. It's almost as good as the interviews themselves. Kidding aside, I've been shouting you out, and my dad subscribed to both of you. It really is awesome content, truly. Yep, everybody says
Working on it.
Everybody says you're good.
But we're getting there.
Yeah, I'll pull it up here in a second. So I got both of us up now. I don't know. Actually, what are you seeing in Zoom? Probably nothing, huh?
Nothing. I got OBS and Zoom. That's fine, though.
All right. If you're good, I'm not going to mess with it since everything else seems to be working. But, yeah, you've been putting out... Actually, you know what? I'm going to go to it while we're talking. The Touchgrass podcast. This is Zeb Boykin, as you see by his name. He's internationally known, internationally wanted, drug and human trafficker. I'm kidding.
I don't know about all that.
I'm kidding. All right, Zeb Boykin, Touchgrass, right there. And let me just give you a quick. Let me go to the podcast page.
Well, we can welcome Mason Miller today out here.
We're gonna play all 30 minutes of this, Zeb. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I actually want to watch this one. I haven't watched the full one yet. This was pretty recent, I think. Yeah, one day ago, with the younger guy.
Yeah, yesterday.
I was actually. Go ahead.
He was actually pretty good. Surprisingly deep. I think we later on in the episode we got into a lot of theology, and I was.
Oh shit! All right, I'm definitely gonna watch it then.
He was definitely up there. I'll probably have him on and dive a lot deeper into that. I just wasn't expecting it from. I think he's 19, so.
He just got
maybe there's a little hope in the younger generation, which is kind of why I had him on. I wanted to get a feel of where he thought the younger generation was politically and spiritually, I guess.
Yeah, Zeb, by the way, if you don't know, is from South Carolina. That's why he talks like that, like an insane man. No, I'm kidding. Do you hear it? When you hear me talk, Zeb, do I sound like a Yankee?
No, not really. I mean, Pennsylvania's not really.
Nah,
Yankee.
we're pretty
You
non.
born and raised Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I grew up here. I also
Oh, wow.
like I've been a lot of places and oh my God, are those the sliders? Time out, Zeb. Can you hand that to
You what
me?
now?
My sliders, my burgers. Jolene's, Idaho, John, man. Oh, 4 of them. Oh my God. Okay, hold
I
on.
can't see you. Everything's delayed for me. So
No, I know. I'm being awkwardly because I just got handed a giant. This looks incredible. Let me throw this up on the camera. Hold on. Oh, look at this shit. Wow. Everybody loves to see people live stream and eat food at the same time, Zeb. I don't know if you know that, but that's a good tip.
oh yeah, mukbang, dude. Everybody loves it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I hosted. I
Look at this
run a
shit.
local hyper local TV show, and we did a show called The Local Taste, where we would basically set up a tournament for different dishes for the local restaurants. So we did like cheeseburgers, we did wings, we did what else? We did Philly cheesesteaks and a couple other things. And dude, people loved it. Now it was expensive. I think we spent like $6,000 in food in a
Holy
month,
shit.
but it was entertaining. We enjoyed filming it. People enjoyed watching.
I can't quite get him on camera, but OCG loves French fries. True story. My cat is eating French fries, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you got shows like Hot Ones in One Bite and
Can you actually?
some other shows.
Can you actually? I just don't think I'm gonna be able to hold this shit. This is unbelievable, though. Thank you. Well, I want to eat one of these. Zeb, terrible timing. Why
Yes.
did you call in right now when I'm eating sliders?
I'm here, man. I think people just like looking at you.
Yeah. Yeah, their
I'm off
names
to the side.
Steve and John and Chris. So you had this young guy on, and he was a college student, right? I think he was, or
Yeah, so he's attending Clemson right now. He's taking ag because Clemson's an ag school, agriculture.
but so you're this
grew
ag
up
school
farmers all
college
life.
student went theologian on you out of nowhere. You're saying?
So I called him prior to because I've been asking around, seeing who kind of trying to line people up, trying to schedule that, which is a little bit more difficult than I thought it would be because people don't like cameras
Yep,
for some reason. I don't know why.
it's
But
hard. It's hard for him.
so he was interested. I called him, talked to him about 15, 30 minutes, somewhere between there, and we kind of dove into a little bit of theology, and not as deep as we started going there. But yeah, it was real interesting. I guess a summary would be something to the effect of he's seeing a lot of people looking to tradition, trying to find something to grasp onto spiritually in their generation. The rumor going around that they're going to be the most conservative generation. I think
That's what I
there's
hear. Yeah.
some validity to that, and he kind of said that too. And he also he caveated it with a Christless conservatism, though, if that makes sense. So Andrew Tate-ish, Jordan Peterson.
That's interesting.
Joe
Interesting.
Rogan.
Christless.
Type,
That was his words.
in many more words, but that's what I would say. But I mean, I would hold to that you can't have conservatism without Christ, or at least the conservatism that
Well,
is required.
so was he was a fan or not a fan?
Yeah. And so, and well, even after the podcast, we kind of sat down and talked, and he said he's ran into a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses, a lot of Muslims, a lot of Mormons, and kind of thought about how to maybe witness to them a little bit more, because there's definitely a bridge there that needs to be gapped, and they're very.
Well, so
What's the word?
you're saying,
Stuck.
yeah, you're saying, so the young guy you did this, did I still have that up? This guy, he was okay, like he'd be like, he was saying, I want to find a conservatism that is not specific, or he was saying the opposite of that.
No, he understands that you need Christian conservatism. Like, it doesn't last without it.
Interesting. You think
But
that's
like,
let me
let me see,
devil's
let me scrub.
advocate. You think that's possible in this country anymore?
Possible to have a Christian nation?
Yes. Could so I'm sort of trying to play the
I
part
think
of
the answer is obviously yes. How that happens, I don't know.
well, would you
But
call like
history tells us.
yeah, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but just for my clarification, would you call like a Islamic theocracy like Iran, which in my opinion is in many ways like much more conservative, right? A part of this problem I realize when you talk about this kind of thing is that different
We
words,
have to define the terms.
right?
I would say that we won't be a theocracy. It'll be a theonomy, if that makes sense. And so a theocracy is
Yeah, no, I'm more
led.
saying like say there's some conservative first generation American immigrant out there who was raised either in Islam or whatever.
Vivek Ramaswamy is a Hindu.
There you go. There you go.
He'll never be president.
I don't disagree.
Because
I
of
think
that.
the way things are going, we might someday have a of Indian descent president, though.
Well, Nikki Haley's really trying.
My one thing, and again, I'm concerned trolling you here to some degree, but I genuinely I'm curious
And
what
the
you.
European PMs are all Indian, basically, too. So I mean, you're not far off there.
Is there?
I would say history says everything is gradually left and suddenly right. And so if it does happen, it's going to happen very, very quick.
Interesting. Do you think
Yeah.
Barron?
Mockler
Do you
says
think
Christless
Barron Trump?
conservatism
I know this delay is brutal.
libertarian light.
I'm shutting up. You go on. You have a thought, Zeb, and I'm going to shut my mouth.
Mockler says $2. Christless conservatism is libertarian.
Oh, you were. I'm gonna go read all the supers that happen while we're talking. Don't worry about that.
I'm gonna kind of touch on that real quick, and I think I mentioned it in the podcast, but I mean that's close. Christless conservatism is classical liberalism, and that's what Ben Shapiro advocates for, and that's why he calls himself a conservative. Conservative is because he sees conservatism as preserving classical liberalism, if that makes sense.
It makes complete. I'm sorry, I was checking my stream health, which seems to be getting a little wacky. But
Always. They're on to you, John.
Yeah, they're on to me. They're on to me. I see what you're saying. So I think kind of what you made me think about here that I wasn't expecting to think about is I think I would be okay with classical liberals versus what we currently have. I don't know that's obviously not the end goal.
I don't know if it's a possibility anymore.
Here. Okay, let me give you a tough one. Okay, I'm little baby John Ward, just born in 2050, where Zeb Boykin has become the supreme dictator of the United Christian States of America, right? Now, I would, if left to my own devices and all my I think smart people question the environment they're born into, as they ought to, just like a smart gorilla will challenge the alpha gorilla as it gets older, right? I think that's a natural part of human. You challenge not just the out groups, but also the leadership in the in group. You're supposed to be trying to find your place in your future leadership, of which, eventually you'll have to be. So let's say I'm questioning Christianity in the Zeb Boykin United Christian States of America.
As you should.
But you've being the God Emperor of Dune, you've eradicated all dissenting religions other than Christianity. Christianity has won.
See, I don't think that's the goal. I don't think.
So that's kind of what I'm
Christian
asking.
Nationalism. I think the purpose of Christian nationalism is to establish a Christian culture, which we have, that is guided through a government that instills the principles of Christianity. And so even Richard Dawkins acknowledges that a Christian culture is better than any other culture.
Yeah.
Right. So
He's come full circle.
dude, those new atheists are in their 12 years ago, their decade of arc is brutal, man.
Do you ever read or listen to any David Foster Wallace? Do you know who that is? And I wouldn't expect you to. Most people, I don't think would. But he committed suicide right after the age of 40, I believe. He's most well known for this book, Infinite Jest. Very recent guy. Like he's not that much older, would not be that much older than you are right now. He'd probably be in his 50s, I want to say. But what he did have for all the
How old do you think I am, dude?
Well, I don't know. How old are you?
How old do you think I am?
I don't know. I'm almost 40. I figured you were around the same age as me.
No, I'm 32.
Ah,
I mean, I feel old.
That's about, so 20. Yeah, he would be he'd be 20. Yeah, about the same. That's about the
62.
same.
It's not about the same. Another 20 years?
You're going to
Doing
learn,
20
and I'm
years,
surprised
man?
that 32 you haven't already, but somewhere around your early to mid 30s, it just all blends together, man. It just.
Oh, I mean, it's there, but I still have 20 years.
Anyway,
it's all the same.
David Foster Wallace was this guy who killed himself because he couldn't deal with the reality of everything. But I think he killed himself over trying to deal with the very thing that you and I and everybody else are wrestling with right now. And so,
Modal logic.
yeah, it's tough, man. But I give him credit for he really faced it, and a little bit. If he was alive right now in our age, maybe he'd be thinking the same things. I don't know, but
When did he die?
oh,
2008?
it wasn't. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, 2008. Infinite Jest.
Infinite Jest is really good. It's also massively long and kind of like beats you over the head with a few points. But what David Foster Wallace did, I think that was important, and he'll be remembered for it. Is he kind of said this whole postmodernism thing is not working. Right, just making Circle Jerk's giving you a mustache compliment. He says, "Can you wax your mustache into a hard M?"
I don't think it's long enough yet.
I don't know if it's the Zoom,
Probably.
if it's the Zoom call or just the regular stream shit, but we're getting hit. We're at 15% drop frame, so our audio is always good if you're just listening to us, but you're probably experiencing.
Yeah, the video on
Zoom.
at least my end. I guess this is Zoom.
Is it
Zoom
choppy?
Seems to be pulling a lot.
I don't know. I mean, it's fine on my monitor. It's a little choppy. But I might kick you out, Zeb, just at the very least to see what happens.
That's fine.
And then we'll bring you back if everything, which it often does, kind of come back to normal here as I play.
You might need to run 2 computers, man.
Yeah, as I play my
Streaming
games.
computer.
I got some
Well,
games.
You got some stuff in the works, so I'm sure you got that going.
Yeah, I got some games I can play here to kind of diagnose what's going on. So I might we'll try to talk. I'm going to take a break here in like the next 10 minutes anyway, and so I'll have 10 minutes to kind of look at what's going on. Maybe we reconnect, maybe not. Maybe you just become the dictator of South Carolina or the whole world, as we were just talking about. I don't know. But if you do, can I be like your mustache waxer? Or if you kill me,
I'll have a place for you.
If you kill me, can you make it quick, man? Can you not do some fucked up torture shit to me? Can you just shoot me? Preferably,
just shoot you for
like
what?
in the head. No, I'm saying when you take over the world, like you have a Stalin vibe to you, my friend. No, I'm fucking.
No. Mussolini, give me Mussolini.
Yeah, a little more Mussolini. Well, I appreciate you calling in. We're already at 8:00 here, pretty much. If you're new to a John Ward or 3cc stream, it always goes like this. It goes great for a while, and then they find us. We haven't even started trying to restream CNN yet. I'm very curious what happens to my channel after that. But we're doing it. Damn it, people aren't going to look back, Zeb, and say that John Ward didn't stream the first presidential debate. They're not going to say that.
Yeah.
We're not going to let them say that.
You gonna try to stream through the debate?
Oh, 100%.
YouTube's gonna pull you down?
Probably. I stopped caring a long time ago. And I know you're right there with me. Give it another. And when you're an old man like me, Zeb, you'll get what I'm saying. See, this is why you can't try to play it. You get self-conscious.
What are you, 38, 39?
You get self-conscious and you aged yourself down, but you opened up the door for me to call you a rookie.
You hurt when you wake up in the morning, don't you?
All right, I'm kicking you out, Zeb.
Later.
I'll try to check it again. No joke after this break here, for real. We'll see what happens. But you look good on my end. I really don't get it. Take it easy. Wax your mustache into an M.
Yes, sir.
I kicked him out. We'll see what happens to our drop frames. Oh, chat, give me a little status check here. What platform are you watching on? And is it working okay for you? There's the Deacon Mojack right in the middle of my screen. Perfect timing. Soon, guys, soon. Feeling good and ready to get back at you all. He is close. I have been talking to the Deacon. If you don't know, the Deacon is my co-host. I have a co-host. He had one of those gold grills put in like rappers do. It's been healing up. So we are waiting for the Deacon. Demon Goddess, thank you. Rumble is 5x5. Rumble seems good. Twitter seems good. YouTube seems good. All right. If you're having any sort of lagging, just give it a little refresh. There's Robert Whaley. Welcome. I know you said you were going to be here. And Williams channel, 5x5. Welcome. Daniel NLN, welcome. Welcome. We are at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. 1 hour. I said I was going to take breaks on the hour. Our breaks are about 10 minutes long. This is a good break, though. This is one that will be fun to watch. It is almost exactly 10 minutes, so I got to be really careful on my timing here. The Deacon's comment. He's doing a little Irish whiskey, it sounds like. Yeah, all right. All right, yes. If you don't know, by the way, too, I don't have any kind of staff other than my slider staff. Thank you. It was really fucking good. You gonna come have a cigarette with me? Everybody in my life on my team that helps me thinks I'm absolutely insane, and you know what? They're right. They're right. They're right. We are going to do it. It is 7:57. Oh, I'm going to not. It's 10 minutes. I'm going to forget that. You know what? So fuck it. So 8:07, I got to be back. We're going to take a 10-minute break. Oh, no, we're not. And Trideca, thank you. And that reminds me, I got some other chats to read. But Trideca, the debate is scheduled late because Biden's roadies have to tie Barbie costumes and children's hair to every microphone on stage. So he will remember to speak directly into hashtag tapioca brain. Oh, that's savage. Welcome, Trideca. Happy to have you. Oh, this clown thing with its not finding super chats. All right, I will find them during the break. We're going to do it. It's 10 minutes. It is 10 minutes of all the best. That's not it. The best Trump comments from all of the debates since 2016. I'm pretty happy with it. Let's check our chat numbers. Is that still up? Oh, YouTube heavy. I'm liking it. We will be right back in 10 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen,
8:08.
I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again. When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. they're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
Who's number one with Hispanics? Trump.
Yes, you told us
Trump.
that earlier.
I love the Mexican people and their spirit, but the country of Mexico is killing us. I want to build a wall. I'm going to build a wall.
I want to build the wall. We need the wall.
And Mexico will pay for the wall.
But we have some bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out.
And it's really weak to call John McCain a loser because he was a...
I never called him. No, I don't call
That
him
is
a-
outrageous. He's an American hero.
I don't like losers. But Frank, let me get to it. He hit me. He's not a war hero. He's a war hero. He's a war hero. 5.5 years. He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you. And then I watched this idiot Lindsey Graham on television today, and he calls me a jackass. He's a jackass.
The man of the toupee.
This is on the front page of the New York Times. I don't wear a toupee. I'll prove once and for all that it's mine, okay? Come. Is it mine? Look.
It is.
It is. Say it, please.
Yes, I believe it is.
Thank you.
I have such respect for women. I cherish women.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only
has
Rosie
several-
O'Donnell.
I love the women that faint when I speak. Those are the ones that love me.
No, go ahead, Donald.
No, I'm a gentleman, Hillary. Go ahead. What I say is what I say. And honestly, Megan, if you don't like it, I'm sorry. I've been very nice to you, although I could probably maybe not be based on the way you have treated me, but I wouldn't do that.
You brag that you have sexually assaulted women. Do you understand that?
No, I didn't say that at all. I don't think you understood what was said. This was locker room talk. Every woman lied when they came forward to hurt my campaign.
Believe me, she would not be my first choice, that I can tell you.
You take a look at her words. You tell me what you think. I don't think so. All of these liars will be sued after the election is over.
I'm going to take such good care of women's health care issues, you won't even believe it.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle?
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form. Such a nasty woman.
Trust Fund.
I have tremendous respect for women.
Have you ever
and
done those
women
things?
Have respect for me.
But I'm surging with women.
I think Hillary would be a terrible president. Well, I think the only card she has is the woman's card. She's got nothing else going. And frankly, if Hillary Clinton were a man, I don't think she'd get 5% of the vote. She's a world-class liar. Just look at her pathetic email server statements. She's crooked Hillary. Don't you understand that? This is one of the most crooked politicians in history.
This is the legacy of Hillary Clinton. Death, destruction, terrorism, and weakness. She's the devil. Hillary Clinton is a bigot.
I was going to say something extremely rough to Hillary, to her family, and I said to myself, I can't do it. I just can't do it. If you look at Bill Clinton, far worse, minor words, and his was action. His was what he's done to women. There's never been anybody in the history of politics in this nation that's been so abusive to women.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
She has tremendous hate in her heart.
Wouldn't that be embarrassing to lose to crooked Hillary Clinton? That would be terrible.
Is there anybody you'd like to apologize to right now yourself?
No.
No?
I think I would probably get along very well with Putin. Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. Hillary likes to play tough with Russia. Putin looks at her and he laughs, okay? He laughs.
He'd rather have a puppet as president of the United States.
No puppet.
And it's pretty clear.
You're the puppet. I know nothing about Russia. Talking about Gitmo, right? Guantanamo Bay.
Which, by the way, we are keeping open. And we're going to load it up with some bad dudes, believe me. We're going to load it up.
Would I approve waterboarding? You bet your ass I'd approve it. You bet your ass. In a heartbeat. And I'd bring back a hell of a lot worse than waterboarding. I want surveillance of certain mosques, okay? If that's okay. Because they are recruiting by the thousands. They're leaving our country. And then when they come back, we take them back. Oh, come on back. Where were you? I was fighting for ISIS. Oh, come on back. Go home. Enjoy yourself. I will absolutely take database on the people coming in from Syria if we can't stop it, but we're going to. I've made it known, if I win, they're going back. ISIS is honoring President Obama. He is the founder of ISIS. He's the founder of ISIS, okay? He's the founder. He founded ISIS. And I would say the co-founder would be crooked Hillary Clinton. If you're on a sports team, most valuable player, MVP. You get the MVP award. ISIS will hand her the most valuable player award. I thought I heard a little voice over there. Get him out. Take him out. Get him out of here. Oh, throw him the hell out of here. Am I allowed to rip that whistle out of the mouth? I'd rip that. Go home to mommy. I love the old days. You know what they used to do to guys like that when they were in a place like this? They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks. I don't throw babies out, believe me. I love babies. Actually, I was only kidding. You can get the baby out of here. They say, I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible. I always wanted to get the Purple Heart. This was much easier. If I become president, we're all going to be saying Merry Christmas again. That I can tell you. If you look at North Korea, this guy, he's like a maniac, okay? And you got to give him credit.
That's a famous Mussolini quote. You retweeted it. You like the quote? Did you know it was Mussolini?
It's okay to know it's Mussolini. Look, Mussolini was Mussolini. It's okay to. It's a very good quote. It's a very interesting quote.
I mean, I'm just talking about David Duke and the Ku Klux Klan here, but.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know David Duke. I don't believe I've ever met him. I'm pretty sure I didn't meet him, and I just don't know anything about him.
Do you plan to visit with the Pope when he comes into Philadelphia?
Well, the Pope believes in global warming. You do know that, right? Hey, in this room, it's so hot in here, maybe I'll start to believe it myself. This room is hot. Written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Maybe that's what I said. Whoever the hell brought this mic system, don't put the son of a bitch to put it in, I'll tell you. These people. No, this mic is terrible. Stupid mic keeps popping. Nevada. And you know what I said? You know what I said? I said when I came out here, I said, nobody says it the other way. It has to be Nevada. He said I had small hands. Actually, I'm 6'3", not 6'2", but he said I had small hands. They're not small, are they? I never heard that one before. Donald Trump has small hands. So I said, small hands. These guys know. I hit a ball 280 yards. Stand up, my club champion, stand up. Do I hit the ball good? Do I hit it long? Is Trump strong? Huh? He referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee it. All right. Okay. I think we should take a drug test prior to the debate. Did you see where Biden wants to take me to the back of the barn? Me. He wants it. I'd love that. I'd love that. Mr. Tough Guy. So I spent a long time this morning on making my shoes so beautiful, so shiny. And then I walked through more dusty floors than I've ever seen in my life. Thank you, Anthony Weiner. It's a rigged system. The system is totally rigged and broken. This system is rigged. We're competing in a rigged election. This is a rigged election.
That you will absolutely accept the result of this election.
I will look at it at the time. I'm not looking at anything now. I'll look at it at the time.
Are you saying you're not prepared now to commit to that principle?
What I'm saying is that I will tell you at the time. I'll keep you in suspense. I'll totally accept the results of this great and historic presidential election
if I win.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Just made it. Just made it. Barely in time. That was a great reel, though. A fantastic reel. I don't know why it keeps insisting on throwing Zoom up there. Welcome back. One more hour, more like 51 minutes left to go until the debate starts. Assuming they haven't gotten that stream going yet, but let's take a quick look. We'll get this volume down briefly. Starts in just under 20 minutes. Alrighty. Good deal. Welcome back, chat. If you're just joining us, one more hour to go of having fun before the debate starts. Let me say hello. Sandwich. We over on Rumble now. Come to Rumble. YouTube shit is broken. Is that true? Is that true? Give it a refresh, maybe. Ugh, it is bad. YouTube closed the window. Is anybody, I mean, there's still some people watching over on YouTube, almost 500 of you. Is it working for you over on YouTube? Let's get that figured out before anything else. Dropped and restarted. Wow. It dropped twice while I was gone. Choppy video. No, it's fucked. It's working. It's fucked. It's working. It's fucked. Looks good. Chat is flying.
All of my sexual fantasies involve handcuffs.
Works fine. When you refreshed, it came back. Chop video, but the audio is good. It is good on Yex. Yex. It's good on X. Thank you, Michelle, for the heads up over on X. Glad to hear it. The most attacked stream on the internet, probably. Something like that. Join Uncensored America on YouTube and Discord. They love John Ward. I have some Uncensored America emails to send, behind as always. But thank you, Ash B. Uncensored America. Sean Semenko. Great dude. Check it out. Donnie Baynard. We need you to get pissed off more often. Very entertaining. Oh, we're going to get there here in a little under an hour. Don't you worry. Channel members, David Smith, Jeremiah Fix, welcome. Chronic, welcome back. Good to see you. YouTube is vaccine injured. Sigma Chaos, welcome. You got me on the 65-inch TV. I don't know if I've seen you before, but welcome, Sigma Chaos. Joshua Burner, welcome back. Your M just got hard. Perennial Millennial, it seems okay now. Only YouTube is dropping. One of the fun things about the old multi-stream is the platforms can only mess with us so much. Constant diagnostics we got going on here. But I appreciate your help in the chat. It looks like Rumble, for some reason, it's not pulling the logos there on the counter. Trideca, 10 new members. If you got a membership, say thank you to Trideca. 10. Wow, thank you. Much more stable now, I'm seeing. Yeah, I'm kind of stalling here because I'm watching the frames drop bit by bit, and they are. And they are, despite everything else being good. Oh, that's brutal. I'm getting a little tired of that. There we go. Welcome back. 45 minutes to go until the stream, the debate starts. We're going to try on YouTube. Even though they've told us we can't, we're going to try it anyway because you're allowed to, because this is America. But maybe it's time to pull up a little reminder here of the debate party, the game that we're going to be playing. All right, you have your poison of choice with you. Maybe it's alcohol, maybe it's crack cocaine, Hunter. I don't know. I just know that Hunter Biden is watching this stream because we have the best debate party game. It's not that stupid bingo shit. And it's not a drinking game. It's kind of both, but not really either. But it will fuck you up. Let's rehash. Let's recap. Number 1, across the top. This is 1 sip, 1 Shapiro's worth of whatever poison you've decided to choose. How you judge what quantity is a Shapiro's worth is up to you. But a sip, any of the 5 following things. Trump gets muted. Biden survives. If he just survives one way or another, you're getting a sip out of this game. You hear the word Hitler. Jake Tapper whines like a bitch. It's going to be hard because pretty much any time he opens his mouth, he whines like a bitch. Dana Bash asks Trump about women. Number 2, a sip. That's 2 Shapiro's worth. Again, I'm not trying to control your life. I believe you're an adult. I believe you can discern, based on whatever poison you choose, the amount of 2 Shapiro's worth. Trump speaks in uninterrupted for 30 seconds or more. Biden stutters. The debate starts to feel boring. Have 2 Shapiro's worth. Jake Tapper's wearing thick rimmed glasses, or Dana Bash begins to look attractive. Number 3. 3 1/3 Shapiro's worth, or we're now at just 1 Affleck. Trump starts the Fourth Reich. You begin to doubt the survival of the human species. You finally begin to understand Plato, or the allegory of the cave, or the Republic in general. You finally understand self-immolation. Dana Bash comes out as trans. Number 4, a Lizzo's worth. That's equal to 3 Affleck's worth, or 10 Shapiro's worth. You chug. That is if Biden shits himself, or there are technical difficulties, or Jake Tapper shits himself, or Dana Bash shits herself. Oh my God, I'm scared to check this one. Oh, right on. Number 5, Deus Vult. You just head for Jerusalem. You grab every poison around you in whatever quantities they happen to exist in. You imbibe them. And then you just go Deus Vult Rage. That's a Timberlake, is the unit. 1 Deus Vult is the equivalent of 1 Timberlake. And that is if Tupac comes back from the dead and he's straight. Or Biden has a medical emergency. Or Kim Jong-un crashes through the ceiling riding a dragon. Or CNN is hit by a meteor. Or Dana Bash neighs like a horse. Any of those, you must, if you've chosen to play this game. It's like Jumanji. Right? You gotta fucking follow through. You just gotta, chat. Chat, you just gotta. Coop 115. Hey, John, while we're waiting, check out the latest AD Ozzy did for Liquid Death. It's fucking hilarious. I will check it out. We got a lot of Deus Vulters. People are getting excited. Be careful. Be careful. Don't vault too hard. Get your screenshots while you can if you want to have your own card to follow along with. My God, this frame dropping. It is so bad, I'm tempted to try to pause the stream and start it back up again. But because it's all centralized through YouTube, that might mean we got to start over. Let's take a look. We got 10 minutes left to go till CNN stream starts. Trideca, even if all you knew about the candidates was that one was a businessman convicted of process crimes and the other was a career politician accused by his daughter of showering with her, you would pick ? Trideca has asked you a question, chat. I'm curious what you think. I see Pastor Chatelet, and by the way, welcome, and we will get that delegate call in. It's looking good over on Rumble. Can we get some counters for when you know when to drink? Yeah, we'll do something of that sort. Don't worry about it. Uncle Horse, you got Harambe lasered on your AR because of me years ago. I would like to see a picture of that. If you could send me one, I would very much appreciate it. William, our storyboard artist for the film, says it's looking good over on Pilled. Respect. Michelle, God, I hope you don't have this stream up at some streaming party for important and classy people. That would be unfortunate. Jones Knit, welcome back. 40 minutes and 20 seconds till showtime. The CNN stream less than 10 minutes away. We're keeping an eye on it. Rob and Dale, to answer Trideca's question, vote for the businessman. I agree. Pretty easy choice. Tally marks and boxes. We'll do something like that. Diablo Devil, you need the picture. There it is. I guess at this point, maybe I should export this and like post it on YouTube and Twitter or something. I'm sure I can do that while the chat is chatting. Oh, let's do this. File. Export. Oh, let's do a JPEG. We'll call this debate party. All right, let me get this up. And that is going to be community. And debate party. And post. Okay. On YouTube, I've just posted the card if you want to follow along. So, let me just show you the way. If you go to my channel, you go to community. Bang. You can download that. It's going to have this goofy black spot here because, you know, chat. Right? Right? There it is. YouTube, John Ward. Click this. Right-click it. Save as. Blah, 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 blah. And I suppose I'll tweet it. It's what's happening. Wait a minute. I already have this ready to go. There we go. For the stream. There you go. There you go. Ah. So Twitter or X. I'm reading Zeb's comment. You can now follow along. You can disregard the space that was left there for the chat. You can disregard that space on the left, but you can follow along if you're too lazy to just screenshot this image on your phone. If you're phone fagging, as they say, press both sides or whatever. I don't know how your phone takes a screenshot, but that's how you do it. Oh, 6 minutes. 6 minutes till we're there. 6 minutes till we're there. I had a debate topics thing to talk about here. It's going on. It's 8:24. The debate starts at 9 o'clock. One more time for the cheap seats. CNN has threatened to copyright strike anybody that restreams this, even though you're totally allowed to. Elon has already said it's fine. Do it on X. I don't give a shit. So we'll keep going on there. Pilled will obviously be fine. Rumble will be fine, it's my understanding. But YouTube seems to have agreed that they're going to shut any channels down that restream this live stream, even though that's completely under fair use. We're going to see what happens. We're going to do it anyway. But YouTube might get taken out. If it does, the other platforms should still be up. About 30 minutes left to go. We're going to go over the rigged rules, which are hilarious. We've covered the fact that CNN is threatening any streamers. Well, there also is no live audience and no press. Only CNN journalists are allowed. Even the White House Correspondents Association, the people who follow Joe Biden around allegedly 24/7, have to be in a different building across the street. No live audience. And non-CNN journalists can't be in the same building. That's number one. Only 2 candidates. RFK Jr. was not allowed. Not allowed. The theory going there is that he's appears to be taking more votes away from Biden than he is for Trump. So he is not allowed. Biden did not agree to a drug test. There will be no drug test. Trump did agree, but there will be no drug test. There will be 2 breaks in 90 minutes. 90 minutes, they get 2 breaks. No press, no non-CNN journalists allowed. Let me get that link up here. White House press corps has petitioned CNN to open up the debate studio to reporters who, for now, have to watch a feed from a building across the street. Because CNN believes there may be a, quote, medical emergency involving one of the presidential candidates, not sure which one, requiring on-scene coverage. Well, you say, as a reasonable person, how are they going to possibly get away with that? They're just going to stop the debate right in the middle of it? Well, no, there is a 2-minute delay, probably more than that. They're admitting to there being a 2-minute delay. If that doesn't sound like a whole lot to you, well, the standard.
In America, if you're tough enough,
I think their stream is starting.
Safely removes pore gunk. Just
Oh my gosh, are they running ads this whole way?
Be alright.
Oh, so they went live, but now 32 minutes. So let's keep that very, very low. All right. 2-minute delay. What is the standard delay on a live show? It's about 7 seconds. In case somebody drops an F-bomb or something like that, they can do the 7-second dump. Honestly, in a presidential debate, you probably wouldn't even want to censor that sort of thing. It's just the universe is throwing money at CNN, and CNN is turning it all down. No press other than CNN, government employees allowed to be there, including the White House Correspondents Association. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. 2 breaks in 90 minutes, we said. 2-minute delay. Let's get up our source for that. I know I've built up some equity here by not lying my ass off, but in case you don't take my word for it, CNN will implement a 1 to 2 minute delay for tonight's presidential debate instead of the standard 7-second delay, potentially allowing time to edit parts of the broadcast. I might just mute this. I don't really need to hear your analysis. Georgina Floyd, or whatever your name is. CNN had, I saw this comment. This is false. The debate will begin live at 9 p.m. This is false. The debate will begin live at... No, this is true. It's been confirmed. At least 2-minute delay, possibly as much as a 7-minute delay. You say, well, that's inconsequential, John. What's the big deal? Biden stutters. They edit it out. Biden says something incoherent. They edit it out. 2 minutes is an eternity in live television. I can tell you that, and I can tell you that is true because I'm experiencing it right now. Count to 120 at a reasonable pace. They can edit out whole chunks of shit. And then, of course, if Biden has the row number 5, column number 2, medical emergency, and one above and one to the right, technical difficulties, I think would indicate a medical emergency of some kind. Yeah, they have the means and ways to... We'll never know how this debate really went down. It's kind of the joke of it. On top of their 2-minute delay, let's keep going. No opening statements. Limited to 2-minute answers. Oh, we haven't even got to the moderators, but of course the mute button, right? Candidates will only have their microphones live while they are speaking, so they say. Let's take a quick look at this video, though.
Podiums, you can see 2 green lights. When they're on, they signal to the candidate his microphone is on. When the green lights are off, they signal to the candidate his microphone is off. Now I want to give you a sense of what it will look like for viewers at home if a candidate whose microphone is off interrupts a candidate whose microphone is on. So I'm standing at one podium, and I'll ask Phil to come in and take the other podium. And so let's say I'm answering a question. My light is green, and I'm speaking. Phil's microphone is off, and his green lights are not illuminated. He's going to interrupt me as I'm speaking, and this is what it will sound like. My volume remains constant, while Phil's interruption can be difficult to understand.
Let's try the opposite. My microphone is now...
Trudek, I'm not sure how safe Trump should feel in an empty room along with Biden, who has already been thrown out to the wolves by CNN. Oh, hold on, let me pull that back up. Thrown out to the wolves by CNN on multiple occasions. It's like his VP pick is his 10-man switch. I'm really glad, however you fucking found me, Trideca. I'm glad you found me because you have some incredible comments. Yeah. They have 2 green lights. I don't know why one wouldn't suffice if that's really what's going on. So they're apparently lying about that as well. 8:33. I should have started at 8. Yeah.
Come on, Victor's microphone
I
is
like
off.
how this is. They're like, "Hey, retards." I wish they would just say that.
Can be difficult to
hey,
understand.
retards! This is what it's like
Let's
if
try
you're
the opposite.
retarded
My
and
microphone
can't
is now on.
visualize how
Victor's
microphones
microphone
work.
is off. And
My
he's going to
microphone is
interrupt
on,
me.
so his
My
microphone
volume
doesn't
remains
work.
constant,
And when the
while
other
Victor's
guy's
interruption
microphone is
can
on,
be difficult
my
to
microphone doesn't
understand.
work. And
The CNN's production team has shared this demonstration with the campaigns earlier today, and we're sharing it with you, our viewers, so everyone fully understands how tomorrow night will work. Now, we should note, by agreeing to participate in this debate, both campaigns and candidates have also agreed to abide by these rules. The CNN presidential debate airs live tomorrow tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern.
That's a high elbow kind of face from that gentleman. I've never seen a face that just demanded the old high elbow. It's rarely seen. You don't see that sort of range of motion very often. It's a bit of an awkward. You got to Khabib that guy. All right, for the stream. There's your card. Yeah, so there's a mute button. So CNN says will be equitably utilized on Biden and Trump. Here's the problem. Our moderators are Jake Tapper and Dana Bash. Hold on. I wasn't expecting to fucking laugh. Jake Tapper and Dana Bash. Hold on. I'm getting it together. Hold it down, chat. Hold it down. Jake Tapper and Dana Bash are our moderators. Oh, we got both of them by accident. I just want to do one at a time here. Hold on. Oh, he's not here yet. Jake Tapper wears thick-rimmed glasses. Darbone. Bwaha, the microphone gaslighting is such bullshit. Fuck CNN. Yeah, fucking exactly. There he is. You got a sip. You got a 2 Shapiro's worth because he's got the thick-rimmed glasses. Oh, my God. He's an American journalist, author, and cartoonist. That's apparently what a cartoonist looks like. He hosted The Lead with Jake Tapper. Tapper was born in New York City, the son of Theodore Samuel Ted and Bill and Ted. His mother's from Canada. She's a retired nurse for crazy motherfuckers, which is probably how she met his father. Harvard Medical School, Jewish summer camp, progressive, blah, 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 blah. I have a video out. There's still enough time to watch it if you feel like you need it. It is called the Debate Preview -rigged question mark. I know you guys are smart that watch my channel, but I'm trying to capture some of these other people that watch like Crowder and the quartering and shit like fucking retards. So is it rigged? Question mark? Right? Tim Pool, I'm coming for your viewers, Tim Pool. They're going to be like, that's a biting question by this John Ward gentleman. I got to watch this video to find out if it's rigged or not. I got to know. Holy shit. Go watch the Daily Wire at this point. Anyway, right here. I'm going to get a copyright strike from myself. Oh, look, it's the fakes. It's the fake Sandy Hook shooting that they took down. Come for my empire. Come for my media empire. Balding bad actor. Yeah, you took out Alex Jones. Yeah. But you don't want the $5.33 net worth that John Ward has. Alex Jones has a lot to learn from John Ward. If you have no value whatsoever on paper, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Absolutely nothing whatsoever. But all the details are in here. It's about 10 minutes long. If you feel like you need them. What are these assholes doing? 21, 22 minutes left to go. A bunch of retarded looking asshole faggots. Again, this is not syndicated radio. And I am in the United States of America. As much as the powers that be don't want you to remember this. Oh, some dudes in powdered wigs realized quite a long time ago that there's an importance to letting madmen speak freely. It's because of all the stupid shit you get. You got that like weird Menson 0.05% just saying crazy, racist, politically incorrect on 4chan level shit. I'm allowed. It's so funny that I'm allowed to say that. I'm allowed to say that, says the influencer. I'm allowed. Hey, I'm allowed to restream this CNN bullshit. I'm allowed to. No. Not on this channel. We never ask ourselves that question. We never ask ourselves that question. Whether or not we're allowed. World champion mindset is quite simply, it's easier to ask forgiveness than it is to ask permission. You want to take out my channel? You want to be homophobic? Yeah, you're like, what? John Ward is gay. No, I told this story earlier today at a meeting. This is a true story. Years ago, almost 10 years ago, right when I started just cranking out world champion level content, just better than anybody else was doing, if we're being honest, I got shut down. I got demonetized. The channel was deleted. It was shut. You will not speak to anybody ever again. Ever. Trideca, John, please spend the super chat on a square inch of Scottish land. Paul Joseph Watson says that makes you a lord. Diplomatic immunity. Checkmate ding dongs. Even funnier, I own 10 square feet of land in Scotland. I actually do. Way ahead of you, man. I am the proud landlord of 10 square feet of Scotland. True story. True story. And I know I'm being greedy here. Quasi-producer / slider maker. This is where we're at with the McAllen. I'm doing more. Can I get a agent check? I'm your agent, John Ward, and this is a bad idea. This is a good idea. Straight sideways thumb. That means yes. Don't fucking laugh. Don't fucking laugh. I need to teach you how to stop the stream. Like, in case of emergency, click this button. All right, we're still good. I think I'll still remember everything that's happening right now. Oh, my frame dropping. All right, whatever. But as Trideca was saying, what is this horse shit? $8:42. We got time. Actually, let me double check that real quick. 18 minutes. Yeah, so they're right at 9. All right, makes sense. What's up? You see something? Oh my God. You're right. You're right. Did you guys see this? Chat is disabled for this live stream. Oh my God, it's just the world wants to throw money at whoever is hosting this stream, and they've disabled their chat. Go in every live stream version of this if you would. Okay, I'm a bad influencer, okay? Right? I'm not Styx. I'm not InfoWars. I'm not the Quartering. I'm not Crowder. All right? It's not like it hasn't occurred to me how to weaponize you world champion motherfuckers. I did it one time years ago. We'll tell that story in a minute. But if you're so inclined, I'm not saying this, but I see chat is disabled for this live stream, and I see the shit like YouTube will delete any channel that restreams this CNN stream. And if I were you, and I had found somebody like me, I would go find on YouTube every live stream of this right now and just be like, hey, you can't chat in this horse shit? Why don't you come over to this dude that's blacking out on scotch and Scottish snuff? Maybe expose your little confused tranny brain to some actually crazy shit. I think conservatives make the wrong move, these right-wingers. They try to be rational. They try to play this game. The left is crazy, okay? And we're normal. I've gone the opposite direction. You just keep going left, and you'll find out there's more than two dimensions. That's my mentality. As I'm Charles Dickening, my non-paid sponsorship of Samuel Gawith. Samuel! Somebody in the marketing department of Samuel Gawith needs to send me a lot of snuff, and then you need to do it right fucking now. Because this shit will help you quit smoking. It'll stop cancer. Whatever. I don't know who this homunculus is or who that homunculus is. I just know there's a lot of homunculi on my screen, and I'm not happy with it. We're getting away from that for a minute. The Deacon. Johnny Mojak, we own this shit, not the policy makers. Amen. You are a hard motherfucker and also a hard M, Deacon Mojak. I can't wait to have you back, man, with your grill and everything. Lord Mortos, welcome back. You snort your stuff straight from the box. That's aggressive. Fragger is saying YouTube is down again. Can I get a check on that from my YouTubers? It seems like it's okay on YouTube for the moment, because people are chatting. Zeb says, Rumble's censoring the chat for the debate. I wouldn't. This is, okay. What time we got? 8:45, 15 minutes. The previous hour and 45 minutes, you need to watch through a certain lens. And I think this is why people like this channel. We have some fun, but if you watch even, I think, a single stream as we're chugging scotch and, alleged, supposedly, right? You guys are, I've trained you up on this. This is a bottle with amber-colored liquid. You can't smell it. I'm saying you specifically now. You cannot smell it, see it. You have no idea how much time I spend in front of a mirror practicing being slightly inebriated, slightly more inebriated, slightly more than that inebriated, all that sort of thing. Are you aware right now that this is possibly a way, and thank you, Zeb, for me to present myself as sort of an everyman, right, but a classy one, because it's Macallan 12-year, allegedly? I think I've had one serious conversation with a living person ever. And I'm not even sure that person who I think would be watching right now even knows who I'm talking about. I've been pretty clever about this. We have years to go. We have a lifetime to go to get up to speed with all of this. But what is real and what is not? And again, if you're sitting there going, this motherfucker's just playing games and he's drunk as shit, you might be right. You might be right. You might be right. The important thing is that you, without my help, thought about it. So if you thought about it before me saying that just right then, congratulations. You saying that if this guy can say me saying that just right then, is that sort of a little slightly idiosyncratic way of speaking as an actor who studies inebriated people, then, I don't know. Or maybe I just said that and then I retroactively spun it. Right? And you're like, well, I know you retroactively spun it. I can see it in your fucking eyeballs. When I say, I've warned you before. These eyeballs aren't real. I'm not really here. It's a fun game, though, being alive as a human being. Apex predator species thinker. We are what's called a persistence predator. Our one unique physical adaptation is the ability to sweat. Humans, if you used to wonder how the fuck did a human being chase down a zebra, right? Or an antelope, they didn't sprint after it. That's never what we've done. That's never what's made us successful. It's that we walked and never stopped. And animals that can't sweat would overheat and collapse. And then you just go walk right up to them. Give them a little shiv, a little Stone Age shiv. That one went down a little hot. Blair, Big John, he's a shot from me. Here's a shot from me. Here. That was a contraction of here and is. Appreciate what you do. Thank you, Blair. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who has super chatted so far. You make this possible, and it is your support that has made this upcoming studio that we are currently working on possible. 8:49. A little over 10 minutes to go. What are we drinking? We are drinking John Ward. It's so funny that I just did all that, and then I get that question. Which is not to mock the person that asked the question. It's just more serendipitous. Macallan, age 12 years. Highland, single malt. Scotch whiskey. If you don't know, Scotch is just whiskey that's made in Scotland. Mockler, CNN sent the Clinton Foundation after Rumble. So Rumble's having problems now? Down. Rumble got taken out completely. All right. I had a feeling it was going to get wild here. Let me check my back end. Let me check. Oh, my drop frames. Oh. It's bad. What the fuck? Oh, weird. How's is Rumble? Let me get over there. Offline. All right, hold on. The entire Rumble site is down. They crashed. Oh, buy some fucking servers, you clowns. Are you kidding me? No way. All right, Twitter's still refreshing. Yeah. Rumble has completely crashed. Like it's like the whole. All right, so chat, I'm going to leave you up for a minute. Go over to rumble.com and tell me if that works at all, because as far as I'm seeing, it's totally dead. I see internet safety expert on X and William Maines over on Pilled. Honestly, this was, I quite like Pilled.net if you're not on it. Much smaller operation, but much more freedom of speech based. And I had a feeling that by the end of this, Pilled might be the only one working. But over on X, I am at Not John Ward. YouTube chat seems to be coming in really good, and I see X chat is working. Rumble is dead. The entire website, it looks like. Holy shit. That's honestly probably traffic. I mean, that would, let's not blame malice when we can blame incompetence, am I right? Rumble down in Tucson. Yeah, I think the entire Rumble site got overloaded. What is Pilled? Pilled.net is a great platform. Let me show you what I'm seeing when I try to go to rumble.com real quick. It's rather outrageous. So there you go. What time is it? 8:53. About 10 minutes ahead, the entire site nuked. I'm honestly a little surprised by that. I'm a little surprised. Yeah, I see the YouTube chat just went nuts. Pastor Chatelet hasn't even needed to refresh over on Pilled. Suzanne, the YouTube chat is fine. The stream quality is ass. X has a really good smart setup for dealing with packet loss. And that is when you get packet loss on X, it just drops the quality, the resolution. So you get a consistent video and audio, and it's quite nice. Too much traffic for Rumble, says Prick over on X. Yeah, I agree. Again, before Malice, I think they just fucked up and they got overloaded. Card Snark Grinder still works. Cerberus is in the house. Didn't think you were going to be able to make it in time, but you did. Exactly 5 minutes left to go. The YouTube stream is fine now. It wasn't earlier, says I'll invite Ohm. Mantara, welcome back. The Foxhole, a.k.a. Pill.net, is a great place to watch. I am very curious what's going to happen to YouTube here in about 5 minutes. Where do I have the list of all the... It's in the description. Pill.net. Let's just go there. So Rumble, shit the bed. Let's try that one more time. Just out of curiosity. They're probably very upset with themselves. Pilled.net. I might have had a typo in there. No, looks okay. Pilled.net. This is Pilled. Right? You search for John Ward. And you get Quite Frankly, apparently. From February. What? I'm saying you... What? You say you see me? Come on, Pilled. You giving Frank all my views? From February? Maybe it's because I'm not logged in. Holy shit, hold on. There it is. There it is. Right? Okay, so it's working. That was the key point. And then I know definitely over on X. Which one of these buttons is your profile? I don't use this shit. Oh, you're gonna see my passwords and all kinds of stuff. This one? That looks like me. There you go. There's your card. Yeah, look at us streaming. We're streaming away. We're just loving it. We're loving it. What does that say? 7 million viewers? 408. All right. It's going to get wild. It's going to get wild. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. All right, we'll be right back there in 1 second. I think I missed my chance to have a cigarette break. But it looks like Rumble is down. And YouTube is getting choppy. Oh my God, yeah, it's real choppy. Pilled seems to be working great. Crowder's working on YouTube, says Moonchild. No surprise at all. Yeah, I have a feeling YouTube will kind of herd you to the, 1 or 2 controlled ones that they want to do. super chat's not working. Yeah, this is probably going to be the most fucked with at 90 minutes of streaming that you've yet seen on the internet. But we've got just on YouTube a little over about 11,000 have come through so far, which is pretty cool. You want to see my browser history. Oh my God. I don't know if you do want to see that. It's mostly like how to build remote detonated bombs. No, I'm kidding. FBI, you faggots. That's not really what it is. Okay, that's really what it is. But you already know that. Less than 2 minutes. Pilled 5x5. Pilled is working. Maybe head over to pilled.net if you want a quality version of this. Although I would hang out on YouTube at least for a while. And we got 20 seconds left till CNN starts its stream up. So here is my rough plan. Give me 15 seconds. I'll shut off the jungle music. I will not talk over Trump or Biden. I'm going to stay out of the way as much as I can. There are 2 breaks in these 90 minutes. I'll talk a bit during that. But other than that, I'm going to try to stay out of it. If YouTube gets shut down like Rumble,
we're live from Georgia. A key battle
head over to pill.net.
For the White House. In just moments, the current U.S. president will debate the former U.S. president as their party's presumptive nominees, a first in American history.
And let me get this up to scale for you.
And around the world to our studios in Atlanta. This is the CNN presidential debate.
This debate is being produced by CNN.
There we
and
go.
It's coming to you live on CNN, CNN International, CNN.com, CNN Max, and CNN Espanol. This is a pivotal moment between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump in their rematch for the nation's highest office. Each will make his case to the American people with just over 4 months until Election Day. Good evening, I'm Dana Bash, anchor of CNN's Inside Politics and co-anchor of State of the Union.
I'm Jake Tapper.
Remember, if she nays,
the lead and co-anchor of State of the
if
Union,
she nays,
Dana and I will co-moderate.
you got a
this
Deus
evening. Our
Vult.
job is to facilitate a debate between the 2 candidates tonight. Before we introduce them, we want to share the rules of the debate with the audience at home. Former President Trump will be on the left side of the screen. President Biden will be appearing on the right. A coin toss determined their positions. Each candidate will have 2 minutes.
I'm going
to
to shut my
answer a
mic off.
question and 1 minute each for responses and rebuttals. An additional minute for follow-up, clarification, or response is at the moderator's discretion.
When it's time for a candidate to speak, his microphone will be turned on and his opponent's microphone will be turned off. Should a candidate interrupt when his microphone is muted, he will be difficult to understand for viewers at home. At the end of the debate, each candidate will get 2 minutes for closing statements. There is no studio audience tonight. Pre-written notes, props, or contact with campaign staff are not permitted during the debate. By accepting our invitation to debate, both candidates and their campaigns agreed to accept these rules.
Now, please welcome the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden.
Folks, how are you? Great to be here. Thank you.
And please welcome the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump. Gentlemen, thanks so much for being here. Let's begin the debate, and let's start with the issue that voters consistently say is their top concern, the economy. President Biden, inflation has slowed, but prices remain high. Since you took office, the price of essentials has increased. For example, a basket of groceries that cost $100 then now costs more than $120. And typical home prices have jumped more than 30%. What do you say to voters who feel they are worse off under your presidency than they were under President Trump?
We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president, what Mr. Trump left me. We had an economy that was in free fall. The pandemic was so badly handled. Many people were dying.
Holy
All
shit,
he
he's
said was,
fucked
"It's not
up."
that serious. Just inject a little bleach into your arm. You'll be all right. The economy collapsed. There were no jobs. Unemployment rate rose to 15%. It was terrible. And so what we had to do is try to put things back together again. And that's exactly what we began to do. We created 15,000 new jobs. We brought out the position where we have 800,000 new manufacturing jobs. But there's more to be done. There's more to be done. Working class people are still in trouble. I come from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I come of a household where the kitchen table, if the things weren't able to be met during the month, it was a problem. Price of eggs, the price of gas, the price of housing, the price of a whole range of things. That's why I'm working so hard to make sure I deal with those problems. And we're going to make sure that we reduce the price of housing.
That is a lot of stimulants.
2 million new units. We're going to make sure we cap rents so corporate greed can't take over. The combination, what I was left with in corporate greed, is the reason why we're in this problem right now. In addition to that, we're in a situation where if you take a look at all that was done in his administration, he didn't do much at all. By the time he left, things were in chaos, literally chaos. And so we put things back together. We created, I said, those jobs. We make sure we had a situation where we brought down the price of prescription drugs, which is a major issue for many people, to $15 for a insulin shot as opposed to $400. No senior has to pay more than $200 for any drug, all the drugs they can include beginning next year. And the situation is and we're going to make that available to everybody, to all Americans. So we're working to bring down the price around the kitchen table, and that's what we're going to get done.
Thank you. President Trump?
We have the greatest economy in the history of our country. We have never done so well. Everybody was amazed by it. Other countries were copying us. We got hit with COVID, and when we did, we spent the money necessary so we wouldn't end up in a Great Depression, the likes of which we had in 1929. By the time we finished, so we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars, and so many other things. Everything was rocking good. But the thing we never got the credit for, and we should have, is getting us out of that COVID mess. He created mandates that was a disaster for our country. But other than that, we had given them back a country where the stock market actually was higher than pre-COVID, and nobody thought that was even possible. The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce-back jobs, a bounce-back from the COVID. He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is absolutely killing us.
Thank you. President Biden?
Well, look, the greatest economy in the world, he's the only one who thinks that, I think. I don't know anybody else who thinks he had the greatest economy in the world. And
you don't know anyone else who thinks that.
We find ourselves in a situation where his economy, he rewarded the wealthy. He had the largest tax cut in American history, $2 trillion. He raised a deficit larger than any president has in any one term.
This is the best
He's the only president
I thought it was going to be better than this.
More jobs than he had when he began.
I really thought it was going to be better than this.
Something that was significant. And the military, when he was president, they were still killing people in Afghanistan. He didn't do anything about that. When he was president, we were still finding ourselves in a position where you had a notion that we were.
This is what I thought it was.
Truth is,
worse.
I'm the only president this century that doesn't have this decade, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world like he did.
President Trump, I want to follow up if I can.
This is weird.
Well, I'm going to ask you a follow-up. You can do whatever you
This
want.
is fucking weird. He has the glasses on, by the way.
I want to follow up. You want to impose a 10%
you got to take a
goods
sip.
Coming into the U.S.
He's got his
How
thick-rimmed
will you ensure
glasses.
that doesn't drive prices even higher?
It's not going to drive them higher. It's just going to cost countries that have
This
been
is
ripping us
weird.
off for years, like China and many others, in all fairness to China. It's going to just force them to pay us a lot of money, reduce our deficit tremendously, and give us a lot of power for other things. But he made a statement. The only thing he was right about is I gave you the largest tax cut in history. I also gave you the largest regulation cut in history. That's why we had all the jobs. And the jobs went down, and then they bounced back, and he's taking credit for bounce-back jobs. You can't do that. He also said he inherited 9% inflation. Now, he inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months. And then it blew up under his leadership because they spent money like a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing. And they don't know what they were doing. It was probably the worst administration in history. There's never been. And as far as Afghanistan is concerned, I was getting out of Afghanistan, but we were getting out with dignity, with strength, with power. He got out. It was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country's life.
President Trump, over the last 8 years, under both of your administrations, the national debt soared to record highs. And according to a new nonpartisan analysis, President Trump, your administration approved $8.4 trillion in new debt, while so far, President Biden, you've approved $4.3 trillion in new debt. So, former President Trump, many of the tax cuts that you signed into law are set to expire next year. You want to extend them and go even further, you say. With the U.S. facing trillion-dollar deficits and record debt, why should top earners and corporations pay even less in taxes than they do now?
Because the tax cuts spurred the greatest economy that we've ever seen just prior to COVID. And even after COVID, it was so strong that we were able to get through COVID much better than just about any other country. But we spurred, that tax spurred. Now, when we cut the taxes, as an example, the corporate tax was cut down to 21% from 39%, plus beyond that. We took in more revenue with much less tax, and companies were bringing back trillions of dollars back into our country. The country was going like never before, and we were ready to start paying down debt. We were ready to start using the liquid gold right under our feet, the oil and gas right under our feet. We were going to have something that nobody else has had. We got hit with COVID. We did a lot to fix it. I gave him an unbelievable situation with all of the therapeutics and all of the things that we came up with. We gave him something great. Remember, more people died under his administration, even though we had largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than our administration, and we were right in the middle of it, something which a lot of people don't like to talk about. But he had far more people dying in his administration. He did the mandate, which is a disaster, mandating it. The vaccine went out. He did a mandate on the vaccine, which is the thing that people most objected to about the vaccine. And he did a very poor job, just a very poor job. And I will tell you, not only poor there, but throughout the entire world, we're no longer respected as a country. They don't respect our leadership. They don't respect the United States anymore. We're like a third world nation between weaponization of his election, trying to go after his political opponent, all of the things he's done. We've become like a third world nation, and it's a shame. The damage he's done to our country. And I'd love to ask him, and will, why he allowed millions of people to come in here from prisons, jails, and mental institutions to come into our country and destroy our country.
President Trump, we will get to immigration later in this block. President Biden, I want to give you an opportunity to respond to this question about the national debt.
He had the largest national debt of any president in a four-year period, number one. Number two, that $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our health care system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat...
Holy shit!
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare because all of these people are coming in. They're putting them on Medicare. They're putting them on Social Security. They're going to destroy Social Security. This man is going to single-handedly destroy Social Security. These millions and millions of people coming in, they're trying to put them on Social Security. He will wipe out Social Security. He will wipe out Medicare. So he was right in the way he finished that sentence. And it's a shame. What's happened to our country in the last 4 years is not to be believed. Foreign countries, I'm friends with a lot of people, they cannot believe what happened to the United States of America. We're no longer respected. They don't like us. We give them everything they want, and they think we're stupid. They think we're very stupid people. What we're doing for other countries, and they do nothing for us. What this man has done is absolutely criminal.
Thank you, President Trump. Dana?
This is the first presidential election since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. This morning, the court ruled on yet another abortion case, temporarily allowing emergency abortions to continue in Idaho, despite that state's restrictive ban. Former President Trump, You take credit for the decision to
bad.
overturn Roe v. Wade, which returned the issue of abortion to the states.
Correct.
However, the federal government still plays a role in whether or not women have access to abortion pills. They're used in about 2/3 of all abortions.
You need to take a sip. She asked him about women.
Would you block abortion medication?
First of all, the Supreme Court just approved the abortion bill, and I agree with their decision to have done that, and I will not block it. And if you look at this whole question that you're asking, complex but not really complex. 51 years ago, you had Roe v. Wade, and everybody wanted to get it back to the states. Everybody, without exception. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives. Everybody wanted it back. Religious leaders. And what I did is I put 3 great Supreme Court justices on the court, and they happened to vote in favor of killing Roe v. Wade and moving it back to the states. This is something that everybody wanted. Now, 10 years ago or so, they started talking about how many weeks and how many this, getting into other things. But every legal scholar throughout the world, the most respected, wanted it brought back to the states. I did that. Now the states are working it out. If you look at Ohio, it was a decision that was an end result that was a little bit more liberal than you would have thought. Kansas, I would say the same thing. Texas is different. Florida is different. But they're all making their own decisions right now. And right now, the states control it. That's the vote of the people. Like Ronald Reagan, I believe in the exceptions. I am a person that believes. And frankly, I think it's important to believe in the exceptions. Some people, you have to follow your heart. Some people don't believe in that. But I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. I think it's very important. Some people don't. Follow your heart. But you have to get elected also. And because that has to do with other things. You got to get elected. The problem they have is they're radical because they will take the life of a child in the 8th month, the 9th month, and even after birth. After birth, if you look at the former governor of Virginia, he was willing to do this. He said, we'll put the baby aside and we'll determine what we do with the baby, meaning we'll kill the baby. What happened is we brought it back to the states, and the country is now coming together on this issue. It's been a great thing.
Thank you. President Biden?
It's been a terrible thing, what you've done. The fact is that the vast majority of constitutional scholars supported Roe when it was decided, supported Roe. And that's this idea that they're all against it is just ridiculous. And this is the guy who says the state should be able to have it. We're in a state where in 6 weeks, you don't even know whether you're pregnant or not, but you cannot see a doctor and have him decide on what your circumstances are, whether you need help. The idea that states are able to do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states, let each state have a different rule. Look, there's so many young women who have been, including a young woman who just was murdered, and he went to the funeral. The idea that she was murdered by an immigrant coming in, they talk about that. But here's the deal.
You're the president.
Young women are being raped by their in-laws, by their spouses.
This is fucked up.
Brothers and sisters.
I can't believe this is real life.
It's just ridiculous, and they can do nothing about it.
We're all going to collectively pretend this fucking guy is the president.
Many young women murdered by the same
so
people
much
he
worse
allows
than I thought it would
across our
be.
border. We have a border that's the most dangerous
I'm
place
surprised.
anywhere in the world. Considered the most dangerous place anywhere in the world. And he opened it up, and these killers are coming into our country, and they are raping and killing women. And it's a terrible thing. As far as the abortion is concerned, it is now back with the states. The states are voting. In many cases, it's frankly a very liberal decision. In many cases, it's the opposite. But they're voting, and it's bringing it back to the vote of the people, which is what everybody wanted, including the founders, if they knew about this issue, which, frankly, they didn't. But they would have. Everybody wanted brought back. Ronald Reagan wanted it brought back. He wasn't able to get it. Everybody wanted it brought back, and many presidents had tried to get it back. I was the one to do it. And again, this gives it the vote of the people, and that's where they wanted it. Every legal scholar wanted it that way.
Staying on the topic of abortion, President Biden, 7 states, I'll let you do that. This is the same topic. 7 states have no legal restrictions on how far into a pregnancy a woman can obtain an abortion. Do you support any legal limits on how late a woman should be able to terminate a pregnancy?
I support Roe v. Wade, which had 3 trimesters. The first time is between the woman and the doctor. Second time is between the doctor and an extreme situation. The third time is between the doctor, between the woman and the state. The idea that the politicians, that the founders wanted the politicians to be the ones making decisions about women's health is ridiculous. That's the last. No politician should be making that decision. A doctor should be making those decisions. That's how it should be run. That's what you're going to do. And if I'm elected, I'm going to restore Roe v. Wade.
So that means he can take the life of the baby in the 9th month and even after birth, because some states, Democrat run, take it after birth. Again, the former governor of Virginia, put the baby down, then we decide what to do with it. So he's willing to, as we say, rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month and kill the baby. Nobody wants that to happen, Democrat or Republican. Nobody wants it to happen.
That is simply not true. The Roe v. Wade does not provide for that. That's not the circumstance. Only if a woman's life is in danger, she's going to die. That's the only circumstance in which that can happen. But we are not for late-term abortion, period. Period, period.
This fucking
Roe
guy,
v. Wade,
he
you
can't
have
even
late-term
talk.
abortion.
He literally can't
You can
talk.
do whatever you want, depending on the state. You can do whatever you want. We don't think that's a good thing. We think it's a radical thing. We think the Democrats are the radicals, not the Republicans.
For 51 years, that was the law. 51 years, constitutional scholarship said it was the right way to go. 51 years, and it was taken away because this guy put very conservative members on the Supreme Court. He takes credit for taking it away. What's he going to do? What's he going to do, in fact, if the MAGA Republicans, he gets elected, and the MAGA Republicans control the Congress?
Joe Biden is
100%
looking at a teleprompter.
Across the board at 6 weeks or 7 or 8 or 10 weeks, something very, very conservative. Is he going to sign that bill? I'll veto it. He'll sign it.
Thank you.
Let's turn now to the issue of immigration and border security. President Biden, a record number of migrants have illegally crossed the southern border on your watch. Overwhelming border states and overburdening cities such as New York and Chicago, and in some cases causing real safety and security concerns. Given that, why should voters trust you to solve this crisis?
Because we worked very hard to get a bipartisan agreement that not only changed all of that, it made sure that we are in a situation where you had no circumstance where they could come across the border with the number of border police there are now. We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. By the way, the Border Patrol endorsed my position. In addition to that, we found ourselves in a situation where when he was president, he was separating babies from their mothers, putting them in cages, making sure the families were separated. That's not the right way to go. What I've done since I've changed the law, what's happened? I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. That's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we can do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history of our country. The border, all he had to do was leave it. All he had to do was leave it. He decided to open up our border, open up our country to people that are from prisons, people that are from mental institutions, insane asylum, terrorists. We have the largest number of terrorists coming into our country right now, all terrorists, all over the world, not just in South America, all over the world. They come from the Middle East, everywhere. All over the world, they're pouring in. And this guy just left it open. And he didn't need legislation because I didn't have legislation. I said, close the border. We had the safest border in history. In that final couple of months of my presidency, we had, according to Border Patrol, who is great, and by the way, who endorsed me for president, but I won't say that, but they endorsed me for president. Brandon, just speak to him. But look, we had the safest border in history. Now we have the worst border in history. There's never been anything like it. And people are dying all over the place, including the people that are coming up in
Thank you,
caravans.
President Trump. President Biden?
The only terrorist who's done anything crossing the border is one who came along and killed three, under his administration, killed an al-Qaeda person come in his administration, killed 3 American soldiers, killed 3 American soldiers. That's the only terrorist that's there. I'm not saying that no terrorist ever got through, but the idea they're emptying their prisons, we're welcoming these people, that's simply not true. There's no data to support what he said. Once again, he's exaggerating, he's lying.
President Trump, staying on the topic of immigration, you've said that you're going to carry out, quote, the largest domestic deportation operation in American history, unquote. Does that mean that you will deport every undocumented immigrant in America, including those who have jobs, including those whose spouses are citizens, and including those who have lived here for decades? And if so, how will you do it?
Just 1 second. He said we killed 3 people. The people we killed are al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, the 2 greatest terrorists, biggest terrorists anywhere in the world. And it had a huge impact on everything, not just border, on everything. He's the one that killed people with the bad water, including hundreds of thousands of people dying and also killing our citizens when they come in. We are living right now in a rat's nest. They're killing our people in New York, in California, in every state in the union, because we don't have borders anymore. Every state is now a border. And because of his ridiculous, insane, and very stupid policies, people are coming in and they're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen. We call it migrant crime. I call it Biden migrant crime. They're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen before. And you're reading it like these 3 incredible young girls over the last few days. One of them, I just spoke to the mother, and they just had the funeral for this girl, 12 years old. This is horrible what's taken place. What's taken place in our country, we're literally an uncivilized country now. He doesn't want it to be. He just doesn't know. He opened the borders. Nobody's ever seen anything like. And we have to get a lot of these people out, and we have to get them out fast because they're going to destroy our country. Just take a look at where they're living. They're living in luxury hotels in New York City and other places. Our veterans are on the street. They're dying because he doesn't care about our veterans. He doesn't care. He doesn't like the military at all, and he doesn't care about our veterans. Nobody been worse. I had the highest approval rating for veterans taking care of the VA. He has the worst. He's gotten rid of all the things that I approved, choice that I got through Congress, all of the different things I approved, they abandoned. We had by far the highest, and now it's down in less than half because he's done all these great things that we did. And I think he did it just because I approved it, which is crazy. But he has killed so many people at our border by allowing all of these people to come in. And it's a very sad day in America.
President Biden, you have the mic.
Every single thing he said is a lie. Every single one. For example, veterans are a hell of a lot better off since I passed the PACT Act. 1 million of them now have insurance, and their families have it. Their families have it because what happened, whether it was Agent Orange or burn pits, they're all being covered now. And he opposed, his group opposed that. We're also in a situation where we have great respect for veterans. My son spent a year in Iraq, living one of the next
Whether it was Agent Orange or burnt piss.
I was recently in France for D-Day, and I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
President Trump?
First of all, that was a made-up quote, suckers and losers. They made it up. It was in a third-rate magazine that's failing, like many of these magazines. He made that up. He put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19 people that said I didn't say it. And think of this. Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taken better care. I'm so glad this came up, and he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers than I have. To think that I would, in front of generals and others, say suckers and losers. We have 19 people that said it was never said by me. It was made up by him, just like Russia was made up, just like the 51 intelligence agents are made up, just like the new thing with the 16 economists are talking. It's the same thing. 51 intelligence agents said that the laptop was Russia disinformation. It wasn't. That came from his son, Hunter. It wasn't Russia disinformation. He made up the suckers and losers, so he should apologize to me right now.
4-star general standing to your side who was on your staff who said you said it, period. That's number one. And number two, the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line. We've done more for veterans than any president has in American history. And they now are in their family. The only sacred obligation we have as a country is to care for our veterans when they come home and their families and equip them when they go to war. That's what we're doing. That's what the VA is doing now. They're doing more for veterans than ever before in our history.
All right, thank you so much.
Let's move to the topic of foreign policy. I want to begin with Russia's war against Ukraine, which is now in its third year. Former President Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin says he'll only end this war if Russia keeps the Ukrainian territory it has already claimed and Ukraine abandons its bid to join NATO. Are Putin's terms acceptable to you?
First of all, our veterans and our soldiers can't stand this guy. They can't stand him. They think he's the worst commander-in-chief, if that's what you call him, that we've ever had. They can't stand him. So let's get that straight. And they like me more than just about any of them. And that's based on every single bit of information. As far as Russia and Ukraine, if we had a real president, the president that knew, that was respected by Putin, he would have never invaded Ukraine. A lot of people are dead right now, much more than people know. You know, they talk about numbers. You can double those numbers, maybe triple those numbers. He did nothing to stop it. In fact, I think he encouraged Russia from going in. I'll tell you what happened. He was so bad with Afghanistan. It was such a horrible embarrassment, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, that when Putin watched that and he saw the incompetence, that he should have fired those generals, like I fired the one that you mentioned, and so he's got no love lost, but he should have fired those generals. No general got fired for the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, Afghanistan, where we left billions of dollars of equipment behind. We lost 13 beautiful soldiers, and 38 soldiers were obliterated. And by the way, we left people behind, too. We left American citizens behind. When Putin saw that, he said, you know what? I think we're going to go in and maybe take this was his dream. I talked to him about it, his dream. The difference is he never would have invaded Ukraine, never. Just like Israel would have never been invaded in a million years by Hamas. You know why? Because Iran was broke with me. I wouldn't let anybody do business with them. They ran out of money. They were broke. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for anything, no money for terror. That's why you had no terror at all during my administration. This place, the whole world is blowing up under him.
President Biden?
I've never heard so much malarkey in my whole life. Look, the fact of the matter is that we're in a situation where, let's take the last point first. Iran attacked American troops, caused brain damage for a number of these troops, and he did nothing about it. Recently, not when he was president. They attacked. He said they're just having headaches. That's all it is. He didn't do a thing when the attack took place, number one. Number two, we got over 100,000 Americans and others out of Afghanistan during that airlift. Number three, we found ourselves in a situation where, if you take a look at what Trump did in Ukraine, this guy told Trump, do whatever you want, and do whatever you want. And that's exactly what Trump did to Putin, encourage him, do whatever you want. And he went in. And listen to what he said when he went in. He was going to take Kyiv in 5 days, remember? Because it's part of the old Soviet Union. That's what he wanted to reestablish. Kyiv. And he, in fact, didn't do it at all. He wasn't able to get it done. And they've lost thousands and thousands of troops, 500,000 troops.
President Trump,
I never said that.
For 1 minute, I just want to go back to my original question, which is, are Putin's terms acceptable to you? Keeping the territory in Ukraine?
No, they're not acceptable. But look, this is a war that never should have started. If we had a leader in this war, he led everybody along. He's given $200 billion now or more to Ukraine. He's given $200 billion. That's a lot of money. I don't think there's ever been anything like it. Every time that Zelensky comes to this country, he walks away with $60 billion. He's the greatest salesman ever. And I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking anything. I'm only saying the money that we're spending on this war, and we shouldn't be spending, it should have never happened. I will have that war settled between Putin and Zelensky as president-elect before I take office on January 20th. I'll have that war settled. People being killed so needlessly, so stupidly, and I will get it settled, and I'll get it settled fast before I take office.
President Biden, you have a minute.
The fact is that Putin is a war criminal. He's killed thousands and thousands of people. And he has made one thing clear. He wants to reestablish what was part of the Soviet Empire, not just a piece. He wants all of Ukraine. That's what he wants. And then you think he'll stop there? Do you think he'll stop when if he takes Ukraine? What do you think happens to Poland? What do you think of Belarus? What do you think happens to those NATO countries? And so if you want a war, you ought to find out what he's going to do, because if in fact he does what he says and walks away, and by the way, all that money we give Ukraine are from weapons we make here in the United States. We give them the weapons, not the money at this point. And our NATO allies have produced as much funding for Ukraine as we have. That's why we're strong.
Thank you. Moving on to the Middle East. In October, Hamas attacked Israel, killing more than 1,000 people and taking hundreds of hostages. Among those held and thought to still be alive are 5 Americans. Israel's response has killed thousands of Palestinians and created a humanitarian crisis in Gaza. President Biden, you've put forward a proposal to resolve this conflict, but so far Hamas has not released the remaining hostages, and Israel is continuing its military offensive in Gaza. So what additional leverage will you use to get Hamas and Israel to end the war? You have 2 minutes.
Number one, everyone from the United Nations Security Council straight through to the G7 to the Israelis and Netanyahu himself have endorsed the plan I put forward, which has 3 stages to it. The first stage is trade the hostages for a ceasefire. Second phase is a ceasefire with additional conditions. The third phase is the end of the war. The only one who wants the war to continue is Hamas. Number one, they're the only ones standing out. We're still pushing hard to get them to accept. In the meantime, what's happened? In Israel, we're finding that the only thing I've denied Israel was 2,000-pound bombs. They don't work very well in populated areas. They kill a lot of innocent people. We're providing Israel with all the weapons they need and when they need them. And by the way, I'm the guy that organized the world against Iran when they had a full-blown intercontinental ballistic missile attack on Israel. No one was hurt. One Israeli was accidentally killed, and it just stopped. We saved Israel. We are the biggest producer of support for Israel of anyone in the world. And so there are 2 different things. Hamas cannot be allowed to be continued. We continue to send our experts and our intelligence people as to how they can get Hamas like we did bin Laden. You don't have to do it. And by the way, they've been greatly weakened, Hamas, greatly weakened, and they should be. They should be eliminated. But you've got to be careful for using certain weapons among population centers.
Just going back to Ukraine for 1 second. We have an ocean separating us. The European nations together have spent $100 billion, or maybe more than that, less than us. Why doesn't he call them and say, you got to put up your money like I did with NATO? I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. The Secretary General of NATO said Trump did the most incredible job I've ever seen. They wouldn't have any. They were going out of business. We were spending almost 100% of the money was paid by us. He didn't do that. He's getting all. You got to ask these people to put up the money. We're over $100 billion more spent, and it has a bigger impact on them because of location, because we have an ocean in between. You got to ask them. As far as Israel and Hamas, Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one who wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one.
President Biden, you have a minute.
I've never heard so much foolishness. This is a guy who wants to get out of NATO. Are you going to stay in NATO? He's going to pull out of NATO. The idea that we have, our strength lies in our alliances as well. It may be a big ocean, but we're ever able to avoid a war in Europe, a major war in Europe? What happens if, in fact, you have Putin continue to go into NATO? We have an Article 5 agreement. Attack on one is attack on all. You want to start the nuclear war he keeps talking about, go ahead. Let Putin go in and control Ukraine and then move on to Poland and other places. You see what happens then. He has no idea what the hell he's talking about. And by the way, I got 50 other nations around the world to support Ukraine, including Japan and South Korea, because they understand that this kind of dislocation has a serious threat to the whole world peace. No major war in Europe has ever been able to be contained just to Europe.
President Trump, just to follow up, Would you support the creation of an
fucking guy
independent
is
Palestinian
retarded.
state in order to achieve peace in the region?
This is
I'd
bad.
have to see,
It's
but before we do that,
this is bad.
The problem we have is that we spend all the money. So they kill us on trade. I made great trade deals with the European nations because if you add them up, they're about the same size economically. Their economy is about the same size as the United States. And they were no cars, they don't want anything that we have, but we're supposed to take their cars, their food, their everything, their agriculture. I changed that. But the big thing I changed is they don't want to pay. And the only reason that he can play games with NATO is because I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. I said, and he's right about this, I said, no, I'm not going to support NATO if you don't pay. They asked me that question, would you guard us against Russia at a very secret meeting of the 28 states at that time, nations at that time? And they said, no, if you don't pay, I won't do that. And you know what happened? Billions and billions of dollars came flowing in the next day and the next months. But now we're in the same position. We're paying everybody's bills.
Let's turn to the issue of democracy. Former President Trump, I want to ask you about January 6, 2021. After you rallied your supporters that day, some of them stormed the Capitol to stop the constitutionally mandated counting of electoral votes. As president, you swore an oath to, quote, preserve, protect, and defend, unquote, the Constitution. What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few. On January 6th, we were energy independent. On January 6th, we had the lowest taxes ever. We had the lowest regulations ever. On January 6th, we were respected all over the world. All over the world, we were respected. And then he comes in, and we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people. What happened to the United States' reputation under this man's leadership is horrible, including weaponization, which I'm sure at some point you'll be talking about, where he goes after his political opponent because he can't beat him fair and square.
You have 80 seconds left. My question was, what do you say to those voters who believe that you violated your constitutional oath through your actions and inaction on January 6, 2021, and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I didn't say that to anybody. I said peacefully and patriotically. And Nancy Pelosi, if you just watched the news from 2 days ago, on tape to her daughter, who's a documentary filmmaker, they say, but she's saying, oh, no, it's my responsibility. I was responsible for this. Because I offered her 10,000 soldiers or National Guard, and she turned them down. And the mayor in writing, by the way, the mayor, in writing, turned it down, the mayor of D.C. They turned it down. I offered 10,000 because I could see, I had virtually nothing to do. They asked me to go make a speech. I could see what was happening. Everybody was saying they're going to be there on January 6th. They're going to be there. And I said, you know what? There's a lot of people coming. You could feel it. You could feel it, too, and you could feel it. And I said, they ought to have some National Guard or whatever. And I offered it to her. And she now admits that she turned it down. And it was the same day she was, I don't know, she can't be very happy with her daughter because it made her into a liar. She said, I take full responsibility for January 6th.
President Biden?
Look, he encouraged those folks to go up on Capitol Hill, number one. I sat in the dining room off the Oval Office. He sat there for 3 hours watching, begging, being begged by his vice president and a number of his colleagues on the Republican side as well to do something, to call for a stop, to end it. Instead, they talked about these people being patriots and great patrons of America. In fact, he says he'll now forgive them for what they've done. They've been convicted. He says he wants to commute their sentences and say that no. But he went to every single court in the nation. I don't know how many cases, scores of cases, including the Supreme Court. And they said, no, this guy is responsible for doing what was done. He did do a damn thing. And these people should be in jail. And they should be the ones who are being held accountable. And he wants to let them all out. And now he says if he loses again, such a whiner that he is, that it could be a bloodbath.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
What they've done to some people that are so innocent, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. What you have done, how you've destroyed the lives of so many people. When they ripped down Portland, when they ripped down many other cities, you go to Minnesota, Minneapolis, what they've done there, with the fires all over the city. If I didn't bring in the National Guard, that city would have been destroyed. When you look at all of they took over big chunks of Seattle. I was all set to bring in the National Guard. They heard that, they saw them coming, and they left immediately. What he said about this whole subject is so off. Peacefully patriotic. One other thing, the Unselect Committee, which is basically two horrible Republicans that are all gone now, out of office, and Democrats, all Democrats, they destroyed and deleted all of the information they found because they found out we were right. We were right. And they deleted and destroyed all of the information. They should go to jail for that. If a Republican did that, they'd go to jail.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, I want to give you a minute.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at right now. And the fact of the matter is, what he's telling you is simply not true. The fact is that there was no effort on his part to stop what was going on up in Capitol Hill, and all those people, every one of those who were convicted, turned over desks, turned them over statues. The idea that those people are patriots, come on. When I asked him the first two debates we had, first time around, I said, will you denounce the Proud Boys? He said, no, I'll tell them to stand by. The idea he's refusing, will you denounce these guys? Will you denounce the people we're talking about now? Will you denounce the people who attacked that Capitol? What are you going to do?
I'm going to give you a minute, President Trump, for a follow-up question I have. After a jury convicted you of 34 felonies last month, you said if reelected, you would, quote, have every right to go after, unquote, your political opponents. You just talked about members of the Select Committee on January 6th going to jail. Your main political opponent is standing on stage with you tonight. Can you clarify exactly what it means about you feeling you have every right to go after your political opponents?
Well, I said my retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful again, because right now it's a failing nation. My retribution is going to be success. But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon at a very high level. His son is convicted, going to be convicted probably numerous other times. Should have been convicted before, but his Justice Department let the statute of limitations lapse on the most important things. But he could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office. Joe could be a convicted felon with all of the things that he's done. He's done horrible things. All of the death caused at the border, telling the Ukrainian people that we're going to want $1 billion or you change the prosecutor. Otherwise, you're not getting $1 billion. If I ever said that, that's quid pro quo. That we're not going to do anything. We're not going to give you $1 billion unless you change your prosecutor having to do with the son. This man is a criminal. This man, you're lucky. You're lucky. I did nothing wrong. We'd have a system that was rigged and disgusting. I did nothing wrong.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, I'm coming right to you, sir. You want to respond? Go ahead. I'll give you a minute to respond.
The idea that I did anything wrong relative to what you're talking about is outrageous. It's simply a lie, number one. Number two, the idea that you have a right to seek retribution against any American just because you're president is wrong. It's simply wrong. No president's ever spoken like that before. No president in our history has spoken like that before.
Fuck you, you Alzheimer piece of shit. Burn in hell.
Civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with
your niece has a diary entry of you molesting her in the shower repeatedly. You Alzheimer faggot.
Give you a minute, sir.
I didn't have sex with a porn star, number one. Number two, that was a case that was started and moved. They moved a high-ranking official, a DOJ, into the Manhattan DA's office to start that case. That case is going to be appealed and won. We had a very terrible judge, a horrible judge, Democrat. The prosecutor were all high-ranking Democrats, appointed people, and both the civil and the criminal. He basically went after his political opponent because he thought it was going to damage me. But when the public found out about these cases, because they understand it better than he does, he has no idea what these cases are. But when they found out about these cases, you know what they did? My poll numbers went up, way up. You know that because you're reporting it. And we took in more money in the last 2 weeks than we've ever taken in the history of any campaign. I don't think any campaign has ever taken. Hundreds of millions of dollars came pouring in because the public knows it's a scam, and it's a guy that's after his political opponent because he can't win fair and square.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, quote, Donald Trump and his MAGA Republicans are determined to destroy American democracy. Do you believe that the tens of millions of Americans who are likely to vote for President Trump will be voting against American democracy?
The more they know about what he's done, yes. The more they know about what he's done. And there's a lot more coming. He's got a lot of cases down the road coming around. He's got a whole range of issues he has to face. I don't know what the juries will do, but I do know he has a real problem. And so the fact that, could you ever think you heard any president say that I'm going to seek retribution? Do you ever hear any president say that I thought Hitler had some good ideas? What got me involved to run in the first place after my son had died, I decided in Iraq, because of Iraq, I said I wasn't going to run again until I saw what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. People coming out of the woods carrying swastikas on torches, and singing the same anti-Semitic bile they sang when back in Germany. And the young woman got killed. I spoke to the mother, and they asked him, they said, what do you think of those people? The ones who got killed, the one who tried to stop it, and the ones, he said, I think they're fine people on both sides. What American president would ever say Nazis coming out of fields, carrying torches, singing the same anti-Semitic bile, carrying swastikas, were fine people? And this is the guy who says Hitler's done some good things. I'd like to know what they are. The good things Hitler's done, that's what he said. This guy has no sense of American democracy.
President Trump.
Jake, both of you know that story has been totally wiped out, because when you see the sentence, it said 100% exoneration on this. So he just keeps it going. He says he ran because of Charlottesville. He didn't run because of Charlottesville. He ran because it was his last chance. He's not equipped to be president. You know it, and I know it. It's ridiculous. We have a debate. We're trying to justify his presidency. His presidency is, without question, the worst president, the worst presidency in the history of our country. We shouldn't be having a debate about it. There's nothing to debate. He made up the Charlottesville story, and you'll see it's debunked all over the place. Every reasonable anchor has debunked it. And just the other day, it came out where it was fully debunked. It's a nonsense story. He knows that, and he didn't run because of Charlottesville. He used that as an excuse to run.
President Biden.
And debunked. It happened. All you have to do is listen to what was said at the time. And the idea that somehow that's the only reason I ran. I ran because I was worried a guy like this guy could get elected. If he thought they were good people coming out of that forest, carrying those woods, carrying those torches, then he didn't deserve to be president. Didn't deserve to be president at all. And the idea that he's talking about all this being fabricated, we saw with our own eyes. We saw what happened on January 6th. We saw the people breaking through the windows. We saw people occupying his own vice president. Look, there's a reason why 40 of his 44 top cabinet officers refused to endorse him this time. His vice president hasn't endorsed him this time. So why? Why? They know him well. They serve with him. Why are they not endorsing him?
Thank you, President Biden. We're going to be right back with more from the CNN presidential debate.
Well, this is a fucking clown show. Oh my God. I didn't think it was going to be this bad. Did you think it was going to be this bad? I am blacked out drunk and I am slurring less than Joe Biden. I almost can't wrap my brain around it. It's that bad. It's that bad. This is bad. He's getting replaced. I mean, come on. There's no fucking way this guy's not getting replaced. He's incoherent. This is bad. It's worse than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be bad. All right, like I mean, I figured it was going to be fucking bad. Yeah, even I thought it was going to be worse than my average OBS stream. I'm trying to keep an eye on it here. There's no fucking way it's going to be Joe Biden. After watching this, there's no way. There's no way that, I mean, what are they gonna? They gotta play this propaganda push where every major news media outlet's gonna be in cahoots, where they pretend like this wasn't what we just saw. Too many people are gonna see this, right? This is so much worse than I thought it was gonna be, and that's knowing all the shit they did to rig this. This is bad. This is good, you know? It's bad. It's good. This is fucking crazy. And I don't mean to miss the supers here. I'll try to pull them back up. I honestly can't believe how bad this is. It's cartoonish. I've been saying that word so much, and I mean, I'm a strong believer in Mo Juste. Let me get some fucking snoof in me. Oh my God. There's no way. So, all right, you want to put your predictive powers to the test. Try to write down before you go to sleep tonight what you think the headlines about this debate are going to be tomorrow, right? It's going to be, I mean, I'm incredulous. All right, Joe Biden took a week off. A week. No one's seen him. This is the best thing. I don't know. I mean, I built my expectations up too high, I guess. I've seen Biden speak, and holy fuck, have they been faking it if this is what he's like with a week of preparation? I'm legitimately afraid, okay, not a word I use very often, to be American. This is the guy. Between me and all the other fucked up shit that is quote unquote reality, that's the guy. Get him out now. Now. Right fucking now. Get him out. That's so bad. All right? I mean, I'm not having a take here. I just don't care. This is so bad. I can't believe it.
Terms, and you'd certainly face again in a second term. President Biden, while black unemployment dropped to a record low under your presidency, black families still earn far less than white families. Black mothers are still 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes, and black Americans are imprisoned at 5 times the rate of white Americans. What do you say to black voters who are disappointed that you haven't made more progress?
They acknowledge they made a lot of progress, number one. The fact of the matter is there's more small black businesses that have been started than any time in history. Number two, the wages of black unemployment is the lowest level it's been in a long, long time. Number three, we're providing housing for black Americans and dealing with the segregation that exists among these corporations that collude to keep people out of their houses. And in addition to that, we find that the impact on the choice that black families have to make relative to child care is incredibly difficult. When we did the first major piece of legislation in the past, I was able to reduce black child care costs. I cut them in half. We got to make sure we provide for child care costs. We got to make sure, because when you provide those child care protections, you increase economic growth because more people can be in the job market. So there's more to be done, considerably more to be done. But we've done a great deal so far, and I'm not letting up, and they know it.
You have 49 seconds left. What do you say to black voters who are disappointed with the progress so far?
I say I don't blame them for being disappointed. Inflation is still hurting them badly. For example, I provided for the idea that any black family, first-time home buyer, should get a $10,000 tax credit to be able to buy their first home so they can get started. I made sure that we're in a situation where all those black families and those black individuals who had to take out student loans that were ballooning, that if they were engaged in nursing, doctor, and anything having to do with volunteerism. If they paid their bills for 10 years on their student debt, all the rest is forgiven after 10 years. Millions have benefited from that. And we're going to do a whole lot more for black families.
Thank you, President Trump.
And he caused the inflation. He's blaming inflation, and he's right, it's been very bad. He caused the inflation, and it's killing black families and Hispanic families and just about everybody. It's killing people. They can't buy groceries anymore. They can't. You look at the cost of food where it's doubled and tripled and quadrupled. They can't live. They're not living anymore. He caused this inflation. I gave him a country with essentially no inflation. It was perfect. It was so good. All he had to do is leave it alone. He destroyed it with his Green New scam and all this money that's being thrown out the window. He caused inflation. As sure as you're sitting there, the fact is that his big kill on the black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking black jobs now, and it could be 18, it could be 19, and even 20 million people. They're taking black jobs, and they're taking Hispanic jobs, and you haven't seen it yet, but you're going to see something that's going to be the worst in our history.
Thank you. President Biden?
There was no inflation when I became president. You know why? The economy was flat on its back. 15% unemployment. He decimated the economy, absolutely decimated the economy. That's why there was no inflation at the time. There were no jobs. We provided thousands of millions of jobs for individuals who were in all communities, including minority
thousands
communities.
of millions
we made
of
sure
jobs.
That they have health insurance. We have covered, the ACA has increased. I made sure that there are $8,000 per person in a family to get written off for health care. But this guy wants to eliminate that. They tried 50 times. He wants to get rid of the ACA again. And they're going to try again if they win. You find ourselves in a position where the idea that we're not doing any, we put more police on the street than any administration has. He wants to cut the cops. We're providing for equity and making sure people have a shot to make it. There's a lot going on, but in inflation, he caused it by his tremendous malfeasance in the way he handled the pandemic.
Thank you.
What are you
Another
saying?
persistent challenge is the climate crisis. 2023 was the hottest year in recorded history, and communities across the country are confronting the devastating effects of extreme heat, intensifying wildfires, stronger hurricanes, and rising sea levels. Former President Trump, you've vowed to end your opponent's climate initiatives, but will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
Well, let me just go back to what he said about the police, how close the police are to him. Almost every police group in the nation from every state is supporting Donald J. Trump. Almost every police group. And what he's done to the black population is horrible, including the fact that for 10 years he called them super predators. We can't, in the 1990s, we can't forget that. Super predators was his name, and he called it to them for 10, and they've taken great offense at it, and now they see it happening. But when they see what I did for criminal justice reform and for the historically black colleges and universities, where I funded them and got them all funded, and the opportunity zones with Tim, as you know, Tim Scott was incredible. He did a great job, great senator from South Carolina. He came to me with the idea, and it was a great idea. It's one of the most successful economic development acts ever in the country, opportunity zones. And the biggest beneficiary are blacks. And that's why we have the best numbers with them in maybe ever. They're saying ever. I read this morning where ever, the best numbers. He's lost much of the black population.
Tim Scott.
Because he's done a horrible job for black people. He's also done a horrible job for Hispanics. But wait till you see these millions of people pouring into our country, and they're going to take the jobs. And it's already started, and you haven't seen anything yet. It's a disaster.
He went out of his way to say Tim Scott,
President Trump, will
and I'm
you
not
take
happy
any
about
action as president to slow the climate crisis?
So I want absolutely immaculate clean water, and I want absolutely clean air, and we had it. We had H2O. We had the best numbers ever, and we were using all forms of energy, all forms, everything. And yet, during my 4 years, I had the best environmental numbers ever. And my top environmental people gave me that statistic just before I walked on the stage, actually.
I don't know where the hell he's been. The idea that anything he said is true. I've passed the most extensive climate change legislation in history. We find ourselves, and by the way, black colleges, I came up with $15 billion for HBCUs, historic black universities and colleges.
Climate change.
Because
By
they
the
don't
way,
have they don't
black
have the
colleges.
kind of contributors that they have to build these laboratories and the like. Any black student is capable in college of doing any white student can do. They just don't have the money, but now they'll be able to get those jobs in high tech. We're in a situation where the idea that he is claiming to have done something that had the cleanest water, he hadn't done a damn thing for the environment. He pulled out of the Paris Climate Accord. I immediately joined it because if we reach 1.5 degrees Celsius at any one point, there's no way back. The only existential threat to humanity is climate change, and he didn't do a damn thing about it. He must undo all that I've done.
Retarded boomer.
The Paris Accord
Off of
was
my
gonna cost
screen
us $1 trillion
now.
And China nothing, and Russia nothing, and India nothing. It was a ripoff of the United States. And I ended it because I didn't want to waste that money because they treat us horribly. We were the only ones. It was costing us money. Nobody else was paying into it. And it was a disaster. But everything that he said just now, I'll give you an example. I heard him say before insulin. I'm the one that got the insulin down for the seniors. I took care of the seniors. What he's doing is destroying all of our medical programs because the migrants coming in, they want everybody. And look, I have the biggest heart on the stage. I guarantee you that. And I want to take care of people. But we're destroying our country. They're taking over our schools, our hospitals, and they're going to be taking over Social Security. He is destroying Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
The idea is that we, in fact, we were the only ones of consequence who were not members of the Paris Accord. How can we do anything if we're not able to, the United States can't get its pollution under control? One of the largest polluters in the world, number one.
Somebody snipe this
By
motherfucker.
2035, we will have cut pollution in
Get
half.
off.
We have made significant progress, and we're continuing to make progress. We set up a climate corps for thousands of young people who learn how to deal with climate, just like the Peace Corps. And we're going to
Peace Corps.
moving in directions that are going to significantly change the elements of cause of pollution.
Elements of
but
cause.
The idea that he claims that he has the biggest heart up here and he's really concerned about
He has the biggest heart.
Pollution and about climate.
Pollution
I've not seen
and
any
climate.
indication of that. And by the way, with regard to prescription drugs, one company
By the way,
agreed
prescription
that they
drugs.
would reduce the price to $35, which I was calling
$35
voluntarily. I made sure every company in the world, every pharmaceutical company, cannot have to pay.
Thank you.
And by the way,
This motherfucker is retarded.
So every day, millions of Americans struggle
Retarded.
just to make ends meet. For many older
I
Americans,
believe in
Social
Moshe.
Security provides a critical lifeline. President Biden, if nothing
Jake
is
Tapper's
done to
acting like
Social
a whiny
Security,
bitch.
seniors will see their benefits cut in just over 10 years. Will you name tonight
That's
one
a sip.
specific step that you're willing to take to keep Social Security solvent?
yes, make the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share. Right now, everybody making under $170,000 pays 6% of their income, of their paycheck, every single time they get a paycheck from the time of the first one they get when they're 18 years old. The idea that they're going to, I've been proposing that everybody, they pay, the millionaires pay 1%. So no one I would not raise the cost of Social Security for anybody under $400,000. After that, I began to make the wealthy begin to pay their fair share by increasing from 1% beyond to be able to guarantee the program for life.
So you still have 82 seconds left. Are there any other measures that you think that would be able to help keep Social Security solvent?
You
or
have
is that
82
one enough?
seconds
Well,
left.
That one enough will keep it solvent.
Help
The
this
biggest thing will
fucking
do is
retard
defeat
more,
this man
Jake Tapper.
Because he wants to get rid of Social Security. He thinks there's plenty to cut in Social
I would
Security.
worry
He
about
wanted to cut
talking
Social
over
Security and
Biden, but
Medicaid
he's
both
making
times.
zero
And
sense
if you look at
whatsoever.
the program put
It
forward
doesn't
by
matter
the House
anymore.
Republican caucus that he, I believe, supports is in fact want to cut it as well. The idea that we don't need to protect our seniors is ridiculous. And by the way, the American public has greater health care coverage today than ever before. And on the ACA, as I said, you're in a circumstance where 400,000 people, 40 million people would not have insurance because they have a pre-existing condition. Only thing that allows them to have that insurance is the fact that they, in fact, are part of the ACA. And by the way, the other thing is, we're in a situation where we talk about education for black communities. I've raised the amount of money for Pell Grants by another $8,000. So anybody making under $70,000 a year is going to be able to get $15,000 toward their tuition. He just doesn't know what he's talking about.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
So I've dealt with politicians all my life. I've been on this side of the equation for the last 8 years. I've never seen anybody lie like this guy. He lies. I've never seen it. He can look you in the face. About so many other things, too. And we mentioned the laptop. We mentioned Russia, Ukraine. Everything he does is a lie. It's misinformation and disinformation. The losers and suckers story that he made up is a total lie on the military. It's a disgrace. But Social Security, he's destroying it because millions of people are pouring into our country, and they're putting them onto Social Security. They're putting them onto Medicare, Medicaid. They're putting them in our hospitals. They're taking the place of our citizens. What they're doing to the VA, to our veterans, is unbelievable. Our veterans are living in the street, and these people are living in luxury hotels. He doesn't know what he's doing, and it's really coming back. I've never seen such anger in our country before.
President Biden?
The idea that veterans are not being taken care of, I told you before. And by the way, when I said suckers and losers, he acknowledged after that he fired that general. That general got fired because he's the one that acknowledged that that's what he said. He was the one standing with Trump when he said it, number one. Number two, the idea that we're going to be in a situation where all these millions and millions, the way he talks about it, illegal aliens are coming into the country and taking away our jobs. There's a reason why we have the fastest growing economy in the world, the reason why we have the most successful economy in the world. We're doing better than any other nation in the world. And by the way, those 15 Nobel laureates he talked about being phony, those 15 Nobel laureates, economists, they all said that if Trump is reelected, we're likely to have a recession and inflation is going to increasingly go up. And by the way, worst president in history, 159 presidential scholars voted him the worst president in the history of the United States of America.
President Biden, thank you so much. Let's turn to the cost of child care, which many American families struggle to afford. President Trump, both you and President Biden have tried to address this issue, but the average cost of child care in this country has risen to more than $11,000 a year per child. For many families, the cost of child care for 2 children is more than their rent. In your second term, what would you do to make child care more affordable?
Just to go back, the general got fired because he was no good. And if he said that, that's why he made it up. But we have 19 people that said I didn't say it, and they're very highly respected, much more so than him.
By the way, if you're not in any other live stream right now and telling them that to get the fuck in here,
I've never seen him fire anybody. I did fire a lot. I fired Comey because he was no good. I fired a lot of the top people at the FBI, drained the swamp. They were no good. Not easy to fire people. You'd pay a price for it, but they were no good. I inherited these people. I didn't put him there. I didn't put Comey there. He was no good. I fired him. This guy hasn't fired anybody. He never fires. He should have fired every military man that was involved with that the Afghanistan horror show, the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. He didn't fire. Did you fire anybody? Did you fire anybody that's on the border that's allowed us to have the worst border in the history of the world? Did anybody get fired for allowing 18 million people, many from prisons, many from mental institutions? Did you fire anybody that allowed our country to be destroyed? Joe, our country is being destroyed as you and I sit up here and waste a lot of time on this debate. This shouldn't be a debate. He is the worst president. He just said about me because I said it. But look, he's the worst president in the history of our country. He's destroyed our country. Now all of a sudden he's trying to get a little tough on the border. He came out with a nothing deal, and it reduced it a little bit, like this much. It's insignificant. He wants open borders. He wants our country to either be destroyed or he wants to pick up those people as voters. And I don't think we just can't let it happen. If he wins this election, our country doesn't have a chance, not even a chance, of coming out of this rut. We probably won't have a country left anymore. That's how bad it is. He is the worst in history by far.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden?
We're the most admired country in the world. We're the United States of America. There's nothing beyond our capacity. We have the finest military in the history of the world, the finest in the history of the world. No one thinks we're weak. No one wants to screw around with us. Nobody. Number one.
Everybody
Number two,
thinks
the
we're
idea
weak, and
that
they're
we're talking
all
about
fucking
worst
with us.
president.
I have eyeballs.
Look it up. Go online.
I have ears.
159,
I can even
58,
smell it.
exact number.
You
Press that
fucking
historian.
retarded
They voted.
9,000-year-old
President in American
dinosaur
history. That's the
motherfucker.
worst. They
Shut
said
your
he was the
retarded
worst in
mouth.
all
I
of
can't take
American
it
history.
anymore.
That's a fact. That's not.
All right,
that's
I'm
not
sober
conjecture.
enough. I'm
You
gonna
can argue
calm
they're
down.
wrong, but that's what they voted. The idea that he is doing anything to deal with child care. He did very.
I'm too
virtually
fucking
nothing
old
with
though.
childcare. We
This
should
would have
significantly
worked in
increase the child care tax
1995.
credit. We should
Not
significantly
now.
increase the
You
availability
fucking
of women and
retard.
men or single parents to be able to go back to work, and we should encourage businesses to have.
Thank you, President
child care
Biden.
facilities.
President Trump, the question was about what would you do to make child care more affordable, if you want to take your minute.
Just so you understand, we have polling, we have other things that they rate him the worst because what he's done is so bad. And they rate me, I'll show you, I will show you. And they rate me one of the best, okay? And if I'm given another 4 years, I will be the best. I think I'll be the best. Nobody's ever created an economy like us. Nobody ever cut taxes like us. He's the only one I know. He wants to raise your taxes by 4 times. He wants to raise everybody's taxes by 4 times. He wants the Trump tax cuts to expire. So everybody, including the two of you, are going to pay 4 to 5 times. Nobody ever heard of this before. All my life, I'd grow up and I'd see politicians talking about cutting taxes. When we cut taxes, as I said, we did more business. Apple and all these companies, they were bringing money back into our country. The worst president in history by far, and everybody knows it.
President Biden?
Look, the fact of the matter is that he's dead wrong about. He's increased the tariff. He will increase the taxes on middle-class people. I said I'd never raise a tax on anybody making less than $400,000. I didn't. But this tariff is 10% tariffs. Everything coming into the country, you know what the economists say? That's going to cost the average American $2,500 a year more because they're going to have to pay the difference in food and all the things that are very important. Number two, he's in a situation where he talks about how he has not raised, he's somehow helped the middle class. The middle class have been devastated by you. Now you want a new tax cut of $5 trillion over the next 10 years, which is going to fundamentally bankrupt the country. You have the largest deficit of any president in American history, number one. Number two, you have not, in fact, made any contact, any progress with China. We are at the lowest trade deficit with China since 2010.
Thank you, President Biden.
You lost
Thank you, President Biden. Let's discuss an epidemic impacting millions of Americans that both of you have made a top priority in your first term, the opioid crisis. And for both of you, the number of overdose deaths in this country has gone up. Under your term, it went up. Under your term, it has gone up. Former President Trump, despite the efforts that both of you have made, more than 100,000 Americans are dying from overdoses every year, primarily from fentanyl and other opioids. What will you do to help Americans right now in the throes of addiction who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
To finish up, we now have the largest deficit in the history of our country under this guy.
Completely ignores him and just keeps going.
China. He gets paid by China. He's a Manchurian candidate. He gets money from China. So I think he's afraid to deal with them or something. But do you notice he never took out my tariffs because we bring in so much money with the tariffs that I imposed on China. He never took them away. He can't because it's too much money. It's tremendous. And we saved our steel industries, and there was more to come, but he hasn't done that. But he hasn't cut the tariffs because he can't, because it's too much money. But he's got the largest deficit in the history of our country, and he's got the worst situation with China. China's going to own us if you keep allowing them to do what they're doing to us as a country. They are killing us as a country, Joe, and you can't let that happen. You're destroying our country.
So, President Trump, you have 67 seconds left. The question was, what are you going to do to help Americans in the throes of addiction right now who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
Jake, we were doing very well at addiction until the COVID came along. We had the 2.5, almost 3 years of like nobody's ever had before, any country, in every way. And then we had to get tough. And it was the drugs pouring across the border were started to increase. We got great equipment. We bought the certain dog that's the most incredible thing that you've ever seen, the way they can spot it. We did a lot, and we were getting very low numbers, very, very low numbers. Then he came along. The numbers, have you seen the numbers now? It's not only the 18 million people that I believe is even low, because the gotaways, they don't even talk about gotaways, but the numbers of the amount of drugs and human trafficking in women coming across our border, the worst thing I've ever seen, at numbers that nobody's ever seen under him because the border's so bad. But the number of drugs coming across our border now is the largest we've ever had by far.
President Trump, thank you. President Biden?
Fentanyl and the byproducts of fentanyl went down for a while. And I wanted to make sure we use the machinery that can detect fentanyl, these big machines that roll over everything that comes across the border. And it costs a lot of money. That was part of this deal we put together, this bipartisan deal. More fentanyl machines, more be able to detect drugs, more numbers of agents, more numbers of all the people at the border. And when we had that deal done, he called his Republican colleagues, said, don't do it. It's going to hurt me politically.
Every time we say it's a hostage. Now we have a hostage, a Wall Street Journal reporter, I think a good guy, and he's over there because Putin is laughing at this guy, probably asking for billions of dollars for the reporter. I will have him out very quickly as soon as I take office. Before I take office, I said by literally as soon as I win the election, I will have that reporter out. He should have had him out a long time ago, but Putin's probably asking for billions and billions of dollars because this guy pays it every time. We had 2 cases where we paid $6 billion for 5 people. I got 58 people out, and I paid essentially nothing.
Thank you, President Trump. Dana?
Let's turn to concerns that voters have about each of you. President Biden, you would be 86 at the end of your second term. How do you address concerns about your capability to handle the toughest job in the world well into your 80s?
Well, first of all, I spent half my career being criticized being the youngest person in politics. I was the second youngest person ever elected to the United States Senate, and now I'm the oldest. This guy's 3 years younger and a lot less competent. I think that just look at the record. Look at what I've done. Look how I've turned around the horrible situation he left me. As I said, 15 million new jobs, 800,000 manufacturing jobs, more investment in America, over billions of dollars in private investment in enterprises that we are growing. By the way, we brought an awful lot of people. The whole idea of computer chips, we used to have 40% of the market. We invented those chips, and we lost it because he was sending people to find the cheapest jobs overseas and to bring home a product. So I went to South Korea. I convinced Samsung to invest billions of dollars here in the United States. And guess what? Those fabs, they call to build these chips, those fabs pay over $100,000. You don't need a college degree for them. And there's billions, about $40 billion already being invested and being built right now in the United States, creating significant jobs for Americans from all over the world.
President Biden, you have 40 seconds left. Would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I would. The idea that somehow we are this failing country. I never heard a president talk like this before. We're the envy of the world. Name me a single major country president who wouldn't trade places with the United States of America for all our problems and all our opportunities. We're the most progressive country in the world in getting things done. We're the strongest country in the world. We're a country in the world who keeps our word, and everybody trusts us, all of our allies, and those who he coddles up to, from Kim Jong-un, who he sends love letters to, and Putin, etc. They don't want to screw around with us.
Thank you. Former President Trump, to follow up, you would be 82 at the end of your second term. What do you say to voters who have concerns about your capabilities to serve?
Well, I took 2 tests, cognitive tests. I aced them, both of them, as you know. We made it public. He took none. I'd like to see him take one, just one, a real easy one. Like go through the first 5 questions. He couldn't do it. But I took 2 cognitive tests. I took physical exams every year. And, we knock on wood wherever we may have wood, that I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. and I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as in good a shape as I was 25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter, but I'm in as good a shape as I was years ago. I feel very good. I feel the same. But I was willing to take a cognitive test. And you know what? If I didn't do well, I aced them. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, who's a great guy when he was White House doctor. And then I took another one, a similar one. And one of them said they'd never seen anybody ace him.
Thank you. President Biden?
You can see he is 6'5" and only 223 pounds, or 235 pounds.
You never said it was 6'4".
Well, you said 6'4", 200. Well, anyway, that's what anyway, just take a look at what he says he is and take a look at what he is. Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. But by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf with you if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest lie that he's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8.
Never.
But I have, you know how many?
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Okay, let's
not act like children.
President Trump, we're going to turn.
Let's not act like children.
This is bad.
Specific concern that voters have about you.
I
Will you
switched
pledge
servers,
tonight
by the way, for the
that
stream. I
once
think I
all legal
fixed it.
challenges have been exhausted, that you will accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins, and you will say right now that political violence in any form is unacceptable?
Well, I shouldn't have to say that, but of course I believe that. It's totally unacceptable. And if you would see my statements that I made on Twitter at the time, and also my statement that I made in the Rose Garden, you would say it's one of the strongest statements you've ever seen. In addition to the speech I made in front of, I believe, the largest crowd I've ever spoken to, and I will tell you, nobody ever talks about that. They talk about a relatively small number of people that went to the Capitol, and in many cases were ushered in by the police. And as Nancy Pelosi said, it was her responsibility, not mine. She said that loud and clear. But the answer is, if the election is fair, free, and I want that more than anybody. And I'll tell you something. I wish he was a great president, because I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be at one of my many places enjoying myself. I wouldn't be under indictment because I wouldn't have been his political opponent, because he indicted me because I was his opponent. I wish he was a great president. I would rather have that. I wouldn't be here. I don't mind being here. But the only reason I'm here is he's so bad as a president that I'm going to make America great again. We're going to make America great again. We're a failing nation right now. We're a seriously failing nation. And we're a failing nation because of him. His policies are so bad. His military policies are insane. They're insane. These are wars that will never end with him. He will drive us into World War III, and we're closer to World War III than anybody can imagine. We are very, very close to World War III, and he's driving us there. And Kim Jong-un and President Xi of China, Kim Jong-un of North Korea, all of these, Putin, they don't respect him. They don't fear him. They have nothing going with this gentleman, and he's going to drive us into World War III.
You want a World War III, let him follow and win, and let Putin say, do what you want, NATO. Just do what you want. There's a thing called Article 5. An attack on one is attack on all, and required response. The idea, I can't think of a single major leader in the
You
world
keep doing that,
who
I'm going to
betrayed
ban
us
your
with
ass.
The job I've done and what they've done. Because we are a powerful nation. We have wonderful people. It's because of the people, not me. It's because of the American people. They're capable of anything, and they step up when they're needed. And right now, we're needed. We're needed to protect the world because our own safety is at stake. And again, you want to have a war, just let Putin go ahead and take Kyiv, make sure they move on, see what happens in Poland, Hungary, and other places along that border. Then you have a war.
President Trump, as I come back to you for a follow-up, the question was, will you accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins?
Just to finish what he said, if I might, Russia, they took a lot of land from Bush. They took a lot of land from Obama and Biden. They took no land, nothing from Trump, nothing. He knew not to do it. He's not going to play games with me. He knew that. I got along with him very well, but he knew not to play games. He took nothing from me.
G33. We'll see you later. Have a good one.
From this man right here. That's a war that should have never started. It would have never started ever with me. And he's going to take Ukraine. And, you know, you asked me a question before, would you do this? He's got us in such a bad position right now with Ukraine and Russia. Because
banned
Ukraine's not
for
winning
life.
that war.
See you later.
He said, I will never settle until such time. They're running out of people. They're running out of soldiers. They've lost so many people. It's so sad. They've lost so many people, and they've lost those gorgeous cities with the golden domes that are 1,000 years
yes,
old.
the faggot G33 is done forever. Forever.
President Trump, the question was, will you accept the results of the election, regardless of who wins? Yes or no, please.
If it's a fair and legal and good election, absolutely. I would have much rather accepted these. But the fraud and everything else was ridiculous. And if you want, we'll have a news conference on it in a week, or we'll have another one of these in a week. But I will absolutely, there's nothing I'd rather do. It would be much easier for me to do that than I'm running again. I wasn't really going to run until I saw the horrible job he did. He's destroying our country. I would be very happy to be someplace else, in a nice location someplace. And again, no indictments, no political opponent stuff, because it's the only way he thinks he can win. But unfortunately, it's driven up my numbers and driven them up to a very high level because the people understand it.
Well, let's see what your numbers are when this election is over. Let's see. You're a whiner. When you lost the first time, you continued, you appealed and appealed to courts all across the country. Not one single court in America said any of your claims had any merit. State or local. None.
That's a lie.
You continue to provoke this lie about somehow there's all this misrepresentation, all this stealing. There is no evidence of that at all. And I tell you
there's
what,
a fuck ton of evidence.
Because you're such a whiner. The idea, if you lose again, you accepting anything?
Get this faggot Joe Biden off of my television.
We'll
He's
be right
retarded.
back.
He is retarded.
From the CNN presidential debate, live from Georgia.
Dana Bash. Joe Biden needs an injection. Hold on. Joseph Biden needs an injection. Yeah, we banned whoever that fucking emoji spammer was. He's done forever. Forever. It's really bad. Like, again, I'm not trying to beat a dead Dana Bash, but this is bad. We're back.
To deliver their closing statements as predetermined by a coin toss. We're going to begin with you, President Biden. You have 2 minutes.
We've made significant progress on the debacle that was left by President Trump in his last term. We find ourselves in a situation where, number one, we have to make sure that we have a fair tax system. I ask anyone out there in the audience or anyone out watching this debate, do you think the tax system is fair? The fact is that I said nobody even making under $400,000 had a single penny increase in their taxes and will not. And if I'm reelected, that'll be the case again. But this guy has increased your taxes because of the deficit, number one. He's increased inflation because of the debacle he left after the way he handled the pandemic. And he finds himself in a position where he now wants to tax you more by putting a 10% tariff on everything that comes into the United States of America. What I did, when, for example, he wants to get rid of the ability of Medicare for us to be able to negotiate drug prices with the big pharma companies. Well, guess what? We got it down to $35 for insulin instead of $400. No more than $2,000 for every senior, no matter how much prescription they need. You know what that did? That reduced the federal debt by $160 billion over 10 years because the government doesn't have to pay the exorbitant prices. I'm going to make that available to every senior all along, it's happening now, and everybody in America. He wants to get rid of that. I'm going to make sure that we have child care. We're going to significantly increase the credit people have for child care. I'm going to make sure we do something about what we're doing on lead pipes and all the things that are causing health problems for people across the country. We're going to continue to fight to bring down inflation and give people a break.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, you now have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
Like so many politicians, this man is just a complainer. He said, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to get rid of this tax, that tax. But he doesn't do anything. All he does is make our country unsafe by allowing millions and millions of people to pour in. Our military doesn't respect him. We look like fools in Afghanistan. We didn't stop Israel. It was such a horrible thing that would have never happened. It should have never happened. Iran was broke. Anybody that did business with Iran, including China, they couldn't do business with the United States. They all passed. Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, for terror, no money whatsoever. Again, Ukraine should have never happened. He talks about all this stuff, but he didn't do it. For 3.5 years, we're living in hell. We have the Palestinians and we have everybody else rioting all over the place. You talk about Charlottesville. This is 100 times Charlottesville, 1,000 times. The whole country is exploding because of you, because they don't respect you, and they have to respect their president, and they don't respect you throughout the world. What we did was incredible. We rebuilt the military. We got the largest tax cut in history, the largest regulation cut in history. The reason he's got jobs is because I cut the regulations that gave jobs, but he's putting a lot of those regulations back on. All of the things that we've done, nobody's never seen anything like, even from a medical standpoint, right to try, where we can try space-age materials instead of going to Asia or going to Europe and trying to get, when you're terminally ill, now you can go and you can get something. You sign a document. They've been trying to get it for 42 years. But you know what we did for the military was incredible. Choice for our soldiers, where our soldiers, instead of waiting for 3 months to see a doctor, can go out and get themselves fixed up and readied up and take care of themselves, and they're living. And that's why I had the highest approval rating in the history of the VA. So all of these things, we're in a failing nation, but it's not going to be failing anymore. We're going to make it great again.
Thank you, former President Trump, President Biden. Stay with us because we have full analysis of this debate. Anderson Cooper and Aaron Burnett starts now on CNN.
They're all embarrassed to be a part of it with their 101 IQs of Jake Tapper and Dana Bash. Horribly embarrassed to play any part in anything you just saw. My God, I was so prepared.
president and former presidents
Yeah,
making
I
their
don't
way
give a
off
fuck,
the cement.
man. I don't want to get butt fucked and raped in the ass, Anderson, so I don't really care what you have to say. Holy crap. That was bad. That was so much worse than I thought it was going to be. I don't know why it insists that I have a Zoom call going. I do not. That was really bad. Like, worse than I thought it was going to be. But let's get your feel for it, chat, before we wrap her up. I don't think I've ever seen, something so clownishly, cartoonishly. I almost questioned Trump after seeing that. Holy cow. Yeah. The stuttering is contagious. What in the ever-loving, retarded faggot bitch shit was that, says Lord of the Rings? Yeah, you're not kidding. You are not kidding. That was rough, but at least you got a lot of tequila. I never in a million years thought it would be that bad. It was that bad. It was that bad. It was that bad. It was that bad. Oh my God. How are they going to spin that? I mean, I get they control every, mouthpiece and outlet, and then that includes, Crowder, quartering, right? They got them all. And so everybody's there sitting, struggling. Like, I'm trying to put myself in these other creators' shoes. The fucking faggot retards. Right? Sticks. The quartering. These fucking idiots that hitched their fucking wagons. Yeah. It is what it is. I've made the gigantic mistake of entrusting that the average human IQ will be over 3 digits. I was wrong. And you guys all watch those people now. I mean, some of you, over 1,000, 1,200 of you are still here with me, so I respect it. Rumble got totally destroyed. That was a little bit unexpected, but they're gone. Gone. We lost Rumble in the middle of all of that. So here's what you got to understand, okay? I don't have any bone in this game. My stupid brand is fucking gay. I hate this shit. But I've given it to you straight. I've never sweated giving it to you straight because you'll look back and be like, "Who's the faggot that gave it to me straight?" And you'll have no choice because I don't lie. I just hate it all and I want to kill myself because I have to deal with it. Please pay attention to the fucking influencers. I hate that word so much. The influencers, number one, if they're morbidly obese, okay, if they can't control themselves around carbohydrates, delete them from your fucking watch list. Holy shit! Right? I'm not talking about kind of fat. Right? Not Tim Pool, kind of bald. If this motherfucker is selling you something and is so fucking fat, like again, 5 years ago. Please get smarter, says John Ward, and all you motherfuckers just went right back into it. I don't care if you want to be part of me and whatever I'm doing, or if you want to watch some faggoty, gossiping faggot shit. I don't care. Your children and grandchildren will be able to look at the shit you looked at. I don't fucking care. You're going to tell them, no, I was watching John Ward. No, you weren't, you fucking faggot. You faggot-ass motherfucker. I can't help you. Your grandkids are going to be able to see it all. It seemed like me being a dick until maybe right now. You fucking boomer. You fucking old motherfucker. And again, all you fucks can fix cars. I don't care. Trust anyone you want. I don't fucking give a shit. But if I haven't proven by now that I'm the boomer Jesus, and just talk to John Ward before you fucking open your mouth, you stupid boomer. I don't know what else to do. I've done my best to help you fucking old ass motherfuckers. Okay? You used to fix cars, internal combustion engine. Things changed. How you used to bend your own head between your legs and blow yourself because you could understand 4 strokes versus 2, it's gotten more complicated than that. Maybe don't give all your money to fucking faggots and retards. And maybe be like, oh, this guy's saying words that we're not allowed to say. Wait a minute, his channel's still up. Who does he know? How is he doing it? Does he know things we don't know? Yes, you old fucks. Stop putting your money into old fucking retard shit. I'm just saying. It ain't 1980. It ain't 1970. It ain't 1960. It ain't 1950. Did you watch that shit? Do you know how to fix it? I do. I'm sorry, I'm just making a short pitch. I'm just making a short elevator pitch. I don't know if I've ever seen an example as blatantly obvious as that if you're over 70 years old, get the fuck out of the way. Get the fuck out of the way. Your generation has had since birth till 80 to be in charge. Get the fuck out. Fuck you. Get out. Fuck yourselves. I'm so tired of this shit. Trump made me mad during watching this shit. It's just, I understand the shit he's fucking dealing with and the shit he's got. He's got to fucking appeal to you retarded boomers too. It's just so tiresome. I've never seen a fucking generation just linger. Just fucking lingering like you fucking boomers. Get the fuck out. Get out! I'm tired of it. Just accumulated all the money as if you were intelligent. You fucking retards can't send a fucking text message. And then you're sending your money to like fucking Joel Osteen and goddamn RFK. You're just too stupid to fucking be allowed to participate anymore. There is an undercut off on age, below 18, over 70, you ought to be fucking shot. I'm so fucking tired that all of us millennials and Gen Z and Gen X even, we're just like, you know what, you fucking old faggots. We will be patient. We will be patient and we'll let you have twice as fucking long as any other generation has ever fucking had. And I'm just so goddamn fucking tired of it. You fucking boomers. Get out of the way! Get out of the way! You fucking retards! You evangelical Christian fucking idiots! Get out of the way! That's my 2 cents. I'm just a little tired of it. I'm just a little tired of it. It's just a lot for me. You know, it's just, is hay mucho para mí. Okay? Okay? Ça plan pour moi. You know, it's all going good for me. I have read a lot of books, and I've never, ever, in 2,000 years, seen a pathetic generation as pathetic as the boomers. You ought to go all shoot yourselves in the fucking face. All right, and I understand you play that off that young bucks like me are some kind of assholes. Yeah, you're gonna fucking learn. Get out of the way! You accumulated all this fucking undeserved wealth off of your faggotry. Give me my money back. Give it back to me and get the fuck out of my way. I can't even begin to believe the shit I would be doing if old people didn't exist. It would be so much cooler. You're all dumber than me. I'm smarter than all of you. It's fucking stupid. Or is at least how I believe younger people should be feeling about all of this after watching what we just watched. I'm almost 40, man. Holy shit. I'm almost 40, and everyone older than me that I've ever met is a faggot, retard, N-word, fucking retard. I'm tired. Why did I have to be cursed with this not retarded gene? Why couldn't I just get the tard gene, the BLM gene, the India gene, the goddamn Neanderthal gene, whatever it is gene that all you fucking other people seem to have? I don't got it. Okay? I don't got it. I don't need to Elon Musk, go to DARPA, and have goddamn intelligence assets that have been in the smartest tiers of all of human history for 4,000 years, acting like we're all smart. You guys are retarded. You fucked up. Your genes are going to be the goddamn diarrhea of goddamn DNA history. It's so pathetic that it's just, you need like a 120 IQ to see this fucking shit. It's so tiresome. That was the dumbest fucking thing. You fucking boomers. You ought to go be shot. Shoot them all. All right. Seriously, though. It's fucking ridiculous. Get the fuck out of the way. You don't even know how to fucking send email. You fucking retards. Get Joe Biden out of my face. Get Kamala dick-sucking fucking Haktua Karen. I'm tired of people making decisions for me that are fucking retarded. I'm tired of it. Owen Schroyer, eat your heart out. You fucking intelligent asset. Goddamn faggot. And Harrison, whatever your last name is, you faggot. I'm just tired of doing these live streams with these billion-dollar corporations, and they're all dumber than me. I'm not even fucking trying. I'm not even trying. I'm not trying. I just assumed everyone was not trying like me, that we were all on the same page of how stupid it all was. But I think they're trying. And that's wild. So anyway, you gave me a little practice session there in my emotive threshold curves, or whatever proprietary language you like to use about your acting practice. Patrick Ancona, thank you. Have a Snickers. I agree. Snickers for the beast. Snickers for the beast. Passing it to John. He needs it more than I do. George Orwell, thank you. Am I feeling better? Tell us how you really feel. Hangry for Harambe. You okay, buddy? Notes taken. The problem. Trademark prick. Thank you. Someone's paying attention. What is the problem? right? It's not that hard to act. You guys are too used to watching Hollywood movies with fucking people that act like Brad Pitt. As in, can't act. There's some really good actors out there, don't get me wrong. I mean, they make millions of dollars for it. They ought to be pretty decent. They ought to be pretty decent. Time for an album, Dustin M. I mean, maybe there's one coming, you know? I don't know. Jabba Boomers. Again, if you're a boomer, I trust that you listened to what I was saying and that you analyzed why I was saying it. You know, your generation doesn't do that. That's just mine. Don't worry, we'll fucking fix it, you fucking boomers. Peace, Beast, eat your Snickers. David Olerking apparently went to college with Brad Pitt. The bipolar is strong tonight. I like it. I respect it. APEC, thanks to GOP for their contributions. The problem is federal government gaining more power every year. Last movie I liked was Heavy Metal. I scared my cats. Yes, that's pretty true. Have a beer on me. World champions. And we'll bounce out of here in a second because we're about at the end of it. Are my eyes red? I think you've been trained and brainwashed and relatively left unchallenged, if you will, into believing that people are quite a bit more retarded than they actually are. You're quite a bit smarter than you're given credit for. I know that to be true, 100%. I know I'm quite a bit smarter than I'm given credit for. I know Trump is quite a bit smarter than he's given credit for. And if you just watch Joe Biden, for as ridiculous as he was, quite a bit smarter. There's obviously some teamwork there, anyway, than what he's given credit for. Let me pull this up real quick. I see some song quotes. Drink water. Drink some electrolytes. I think I'm going to just totally transcend this whole concept of cluing people in. And I think we're just going to go for it. We're just going to do what we can to win legitimately without breaking the law. Come November. But it was good to have all of you here that joined or anybody watching a replay. I just don't think an intellectually honest person, a person that is honest with themselves, can watch what we just watched and not be able to immediately discern the capital T truth of what is going on here. And I've done about everything I can, from being extreme to outrageous, even in this very stream itself. I think you should all aim. Oh, and we froze. And we froze out. And so that's as good a time as any to say that is it for today. I am John Ward, and until next time, remember you are a world champion. Don't let your memes be dreams.